Welcome to what is apparently the biggest Inside Xbox ever, live from our nation's capital, and by our nations I mean mine. Welcome to X019
Oh,
from
great way to
London.
start.
So we start with Fortnite? Huh, well, I haven't...
Remember, Java, that this is the audience Microsoft caters to now, the Fortnite audience.
If Phil Spencer's dabs on stage, I'm out.
Okay. Nothing wrong with Fortnite. From what I've seen, it's a legit good game. Like, you know, even if it is...
It's not that there's anything wrong with it, technically. It's just that it's not really something that... Like I've said in an RE3 commentary of this year.
Oh, what's this?
I'm sorry, are we doing the road here?
This train spotting prequel looks weird.
What is this, Jumanji?
Is this Quantum Break 2?
Basically, folks,
Yes,
this is our first ever commentary on the Xbox equivalent of a Nintendo Direct. We've done Nintendo
Xbox.
Directs, we've done State of Plays, now we're doing our first ever Inside
What
Xbox.
the fuck is this?
Might
Oh,
as
it's a
well.
lightsaber.
Oh, it's an ad for Last Jedi.
Jedi Fallen
Okay,
Order,
that was
yeah.
a very weird transition.
Fallen Order has been getting really great reviews, so cool.
Basically,
it's out.
from what I heard, it plays well and the story is nice enough, but it's apparently on the short side.
Oh, that guy had a family or something? What does this have to do with Star Wars?
It's a weird commercial.
I wonder what was the direction with EA
Don't get me
told
wrong.
people
Don't
to
get
do
me-
it.
Don't get me wrong, Microsoft. I am looking forward to playing this game too. It's just that it's a third-party multiplat, so it doesn't really reinforce any trust in your brand.
EA have been pushing this mostly for the Xbox One release, even though it's all...
Yeah, that's because there's Microsoft who bought the marketing rights.
Wait,
what? That's the thing, Dweebs. The biggest marketing push for Jedi Fallen Order was actually Steam, the PC region with Steam, because EA now is going back to Steam with launching his game with Jedi Fallen Order leading the charge.
Huh.
Yeah. Now, what that means, no, Joe, but what that means is that someone can, when a company buys the marketing rights, that means that even though the game is still a multiplat, the publisher always markets the version of let's say, for example, Call of Duty.
Sony's been doing that with Call of Duty ever since the advent of the
As
PS4,
interesting
which was a big thing until then. Microsoft did have them.
As interesting an idea as that is, I feel like that kind of marketing campaign is kind of negated by the presence of the... It's kind of negated by the presence of the internet, which kind of allows anyone to know that, hey, it's available on other stuff.
Well, Jova, you'll be surprised, Jova. You have to understand, Jova, that yes, us gamers, we are on social media and all that shit. But you have to understand, Jova, that a lot of games that kids get is because their parents buy them. Parents see the commercial, they see the PlayStation logo on there. Oh, okay, Call of Duty's on the PS4, so I'll get the
PS4.
Yeah,
basically, Jova, it's the grandpa Andrew's GameStop and he's like, I want to give a present to my children.
Yeah, I get that that's still a thing, but you have to wonder if eventually that well's gonna dry up, seeing as how the generation who are too old to search the web are kind of shrinking and shrinking.
But whatever. More on point, I'm actually happy for Respawn Entertainment because they've been pretty much on a low streak and they've proven themselves to be a competent developer. So here's hoping for them.
Not only that, Tio, they're a competent developer who haven't been squandered by EA for once.
That's because their lifespan is just begun. I'd say like a third into it.
Do they actually belong to EA?
Now, yes.
Now
Ever
they
since
do.
after Titanfall 2, EA officially acquired them.
Which is pretty much a death sentence going off of the track record.
Pretty much. The
Basically,
only way we're gonna leave is through the pit.
Shouldn't it be more accurately a delayed death sentence?
well, it's a death sentence nonetheless, Dibs. Here's how it goes. Company gets bought by EA. Company
They
does
get
either
squeezed like a
good,
lemon, and when they're dry, they get thrown in the trash.
no matter how good they started off.
I'm surprised companies are still willing to be bought by EA.
Dibs. You know the term hostile. Dibs, you know the term hostile.
money.
You know the term hostile.
Great. Another hack and slash game, the Star Wars game with a Rancor fight. Really?
Here's the thing, Dwibs. EA, unfortunately, often induct what the industry refers to as hostile takeovers. wherein sometimes they can buy a company outright without that company's compliance just because they have that much money. It sort of is how they've acquired a lot of their companies before.
Not to mention, in true tradition of making a deal with the devil, the offer they make is very tempting.
Exactly. Yeah. It's good in the short term, but then the results are always the same.
That, the person that has remained CEO until not too much ago literally looked like the classic devil in suit. But
oh, he's no longer the CEO?
I don't think so anyway.
Aw, what a shame.
Right now.
To get this discussion back on Xbox though.
Forza! Sorry.
Oh, Forza! You're always cool.
Battletoads still
Yeah, well, again, to get this back on topic though, see, again, like I said in RE3 of this year, commentary on Microsoft's E3, Microsoft needs to actually, reassure people that their brand is a brand worth investing in. And to do that, they need their own exclusive content that separates them from the other brands. That's kind of how that's how entertainment industry works.
Okay. Lord knows, they better salvage something before this generation goes up because, they've already got the Xbox Scarlet coming in.
Exactly. The problem is, and that's why they need to stop hyping up so much indies and third-party multiplats. They need to actually show... Yes, let's go on.
I see what they did with the logo. It's like Marvel Studios is one.
Ah, cute. Implying you're that big.
Catwoman cosplayer.
I don't know. Oh wait, maybe
not
Rainbow.
Not Julia Hardy, no.
Okay, let me guess. Pedro is the classic presenter, but actually doesn't know anything about video games.
Exactly, Julia Hardy. No, not just that. Julia Hardy is the brilliant woman who came up with that Gears 5 trailer for E3, the one with the heads.
Say what you want about Aisha Tyler, but at least I can believe, at least partially, that she had tried to have a controller in her hand.
Oh, it's even better, Teo. She loves going on Twitter and talk about how we're all misogynists.
Wait, really? She's one of those kinds of people?
Yes, she is.
So...
Not even the type of feminist that is actually decent.
Oh, she's the Anita Sarkeesian kind of
feminist. Which I am sure there are plenty of.
Definitely.
That's the sad part, because that term has been destroyed by the current. But whatever. The point is, Charlie though. Yeah.
So,
Twiz. Sea of Thieves. Nobody likes Sea of Thieves.
That's right. That thing's like I think 50% now complete.
Well, okay.
It's like you could put like a progress bar on there saying 50% complete. Then 3 months later it's 55.
Oh no.
Incredible journey with that studio. And it's actually a journey that's
join the conversation on Xbox's official Discord server.
The most incredible journey. Buzzwords. That's what those are. Buzzwords. Let's actually see some gameplay. Just put your money where your mouth is.
The most incredibly talented team of people.
Microsoft needs content. They need to show. They need some awesome AAA bangers that justify the purchase of the Xbox Scarlet.
Sea of Thieves was supposed to be that, but we all know how Sea of Thieves turned out.
Yeah, but Sea of Thieves is not even it's not even like it's more like a double. It's more like a double-A indie game. Like it looks so cheap.
That's the thing. It was supposed to be the new AAA release, but it turned out to be looking like a double-A release that wasn't even released completely.
Yeah.
Wait. Again, wait, hold on. They mentioned Sea of Thieves. Are we gonna see some of the new content coming?
No, I think it's the new RIP that was leaked. Let me see.
World premiere. A term I've come to expect a lot.
That's kind of a good representation. The Rare logo doesn't even have more the Chingo that was in black and white.
Yeah, Rare. Here's the problem, Microsoft. I don't trust Rare to make a great game anymore, so...
Okay, let's have a look. Ooh, exotic wildlife. Just like in Horizon Zero Dawn, Breath of the Wild, and that other game.
The art style is different from those.
Well, the art style reminds me more of something
Journey.
Like, more like No Man's Sky.
There is No Man's Sky if it didn't take 5 years to get good.
It also reminds me of that new Ubisoft game that's being made by the Assassin's Creed Odyssey team.
No.
Oh, you mean Gods and Monsters?
That one is more refined. That one in terms of art style is more similar to Kid Icarus.
The game you're
This
thinking
one
of.
is actually different from that.
The game you're thinking of, Pedro, is Gods and Monsters.
That's
No.
it. That's the one.
Oh.
Ooh, oh my God! I recognize that sound cue from Banjo and Kazooie.
Well,
Yeah,
it's a stock sound effect, Joe. So.
No. I know. I was talking about the music sound cue, the same one that plays when you're around the metal shark in Banjo and Kazooie 1.
Okay.
Rare probably has those in like their attic.
Yeah, I'm
Princess
definitely getting
Mononoke?
I'm definitely getting Breath of the Wild and Horizon Zero Dawn
Everwild.
aspects from this.
So,
Oh my God! It even has Wild in the Tile, just like Breath of the
Let me,
Wild.
Tail, there you go. Michelle and Sal's Wild is now Everwild.
Totally.
Well, it looks better than Wild did then. Bazing! Yeah, I never really cared for Wild. Sue me.
You'll receive a never-before-released Obsidian Helm for Sea of Thieves, a Gears Pop promotional credit, and a chance at
Oh,
winning
we're talking
my
more
God,
about
this is the
Sea of
guy-
Thieves rather than,
this
you know, the
is
actual...
host- This guy's the host from Gamescom, from the Gamescom one, the one that was all like, this is gonna be lit.
I guess the gang's all here.
Matt, we just saw that beautiful trailer, which is Rare's next journey, which begins
It was
with
okay, I guess,
Everwild.
but I don't trust
What's
Rare.
it like to show up
so-
Everwild for
Is
the
it
first
sad that I
time,
think the audience
and
may
how
just
else
be
is Xbox Game
desperate
Studios
to
showing
see
up today?
their... Well, I
These
guess...
are not Bethesda level annoying.
You know what's sad? Rare's supposed to be a good representative of British games
Really,
talent,
it is
so...
really.
We
Yeah.
got Media Molecule for that now.
Rare, like
I'm
a lot
okay.
of our studios, has more than one team under the same roof. And so it's great to see a new team.
Oh,
new
so
IP,
Rare got the
bring that game to
Bioshock.
life
I mean,
with great
the
leadership
Bioware
with the
treatment.
And that will exist
Well, Joe, but to be
side
fair,
by
this is
side
a lot
with
of
the
studios
team
have
that will
multiple
continue
teams. To be
working
fair,
on
that's
No,
not
I
really
mean,
new.
it's sounding like they're
Across all
like
of our
dividing them
studios,
into
we really
absolute
shifted
divisions,
from a
like
focus on
how
growth
Bioware
and
got
acquisition,
franchised into
moving on to
Bioware
execution
Montreal,
and
Bioware
delivery,
Ohio,
really
you know, the
delivering on
usual
the
streak.
promise
Well,
of
Joe,
a great
my
game.
guess is the
And
A team is
includes
working on
our
this, and the
publishing
B team is
which has
working on
gone
adding
out
more
and
content to
started
Sea
up
of Thieves.
projects
That's
with
most likely what's going on.
independent
Unless
creators
it's
who
the
will bring
A-team working on
exclusive
Sea of Thieves,
content
and
to
it's the
Xbox.
B-team
And what that
providing
lines up to
Everwild.
is tonight we'll be able to show 2 more new IP and updates on 11 games in production.
That's going to be amazing.
You know, that'll probably be the
season.
name. Yeah, guys, that'll probably be the name for the game if it gets bad reviews.
Of course, day to day on Xbox Game Pass.
Xbox.
And as
I
Oh,
love
look
the
at
way
that,
they
guys!
say-
Look at that, guys! We can get the game day one on Xbox Games Pass, so you don't even have to buy it.
Well, the great thing about Game Pass
I have
is
to
that it
buy
really
Games Pass,
empowers our
though.
studios to focus
And there's a
on
Well, the
problem.
idea, Joe, is that you have to spend less for it.
great games.
There's a problem,
Um,
though.
whether
I
it's a
don't... Oh,
large-scale
well,
game
actually,
or
no,
a
I have a
small
PC, so I guess I
both
could
of those
technically
can
get
exist
Games
in
Pass.
Yeah, you can. Remember,
It's also
Xbox
brought
Play
a whole
Anywhere.
new audience
All
to some of
Microsoft's
our games.
first-party
Hey,
games
I-
onto PC.
There really
Yeah,
is no reason for me to buy it. There really is no reason for me to buy your console.
No,
mean,
we've
how-
been, Java, we've been saying this for like, what, 3 years now?
I mean, how Microsoft Flight Simulator, even though that's on Xbox, that's been like a PC thing since it started. So look at this
And
Oh.
yet,
right here.
and yet, they still have PC exclusive games for some
Thank you
reason.
so much for coming to talk to us as well. I'm really
Wait,
excited to see
what
everything
are they
come back.
showing now?
Also, as you said, as
It
an
was
example,
Everwild.
multiple teams
Everwild, yeah,
Wait,
I think it's...
why are there scenes in outer space? I guess
Well,
there's...
why did it have to be just on ground, Java?
I guess. Okay, so maybe it's one of those...
Yeah, we don't know exactly what the game entails, so...
Maybe
Yeah.
they just explain what we're talking over.
Who knows? Maybe it's gonna be one of those apocalyptic futures
Oh,
where we
another
also
world
have
premiere.
tech now.
Xbox Game Studios presents.
X
Xbox.
from
Oh,
Obsidian.
the new Obsidian IP. A survival game. Huh, that's not the typical game
With
they
a
make.
small
Small
twist.
thing. What is this? And fully.
Oh,
Oh my
Same
god,
way.
it looks similar to Ant Bully. You're the size of an ant.
so you play so this is a video game adaptation of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Only Rick Moranis is the final boss.
What company made Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Disney.
Ah, okay, so
It's most likely gonna be on Disney Plus.
what, this game?
No, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Ew.
Ugh. Explore. You're supposed to stick on spiderwebs, not bounce off of them.
Yeah, it looks like your typical survival game. It doesn't like it looks
Tasty.
it looks fine, I guess, but it
Does
doesn't
it
look
look,
together.
does it look the average game Obsidian would make?
You know what this looks like?
Well, to be fair, maybe this is them trying to do something different for a change.
So what is this going to be? Some MMO or some multiplayer campaign thing?
No. So it said it was a survival game, so I'm guessing it's just a typical survival game.
Oh, Spider.
Grounded. Yeah, you're grounded.
Game is unfinished and work in progress, no duh.
Well, Joe, but it's most likely just a typical survival game where you forage, you collect resources.
Oh, I get that, but it looks like there's multiple.
What's his face?
It looks like there's multiple players on. Please, no. Anyway, Pedro, it looks like one of those multiple player games, though, off of the footage too. So, if anything, it looks more akin. It looks like a fusion between Horizon Zero Dawn and Sea of Thieves with that first-person perspective.
It's actually been in development for a little over a year. It's a small team.
Not gonna lie, that Star Wars Fallen trailer looking very good.
He said it's been in development for a little over a year, so it was already being made before Microsoft bought them.
It was in production before we became part of Microsoft. But one
you just said.
We're really supportive of it moving forward. I know a lot of people associate our studio, obviously, with RPGs, but we do have multiple teams working on different things at different times. So you can expect to hear more.
Yay, we're gonna go outside the box. This could either end very well or very tragically.
To be fair, that's perfectly fine, obviously, but it's just the game doesn't look bad. It just looks very typical.
Yes, we know it's an Xbox exclusive.
Also on PC.
That's a lie right there. It's also going to be on PC.
On the trailer, it didn't say PC.
And Adam Brennicky, our project
Let me
director,
check.
he was pretty excited about this idea that he ran over to Fergus, our studio head, and said, "Let's do this." He gave us the green light, and we put together a small team and started to just flex our creative muscles. And within a month, we knew we had something special, so we just been running.
Well, nothing wrong with doing that. Maybe this will turn out to be good. I think my issue is that, aside from the whole shrinking thing, it looks kind of generic and dime a dozen sort of feel.
Well, it is. It's not just banging on the idea of gameplay. It's more like in the setting. You know.
Well, not just that, but the gameplay feels tried and true in some cases.
We've been pretty excited.
Yeah, there's places called green rooms where you wait until it's your cue to go on stage or on set for a TV show.
Yeah.
Considering this whole area is green, I think people would get green room mixed up.
I'm more baffled by the extras in the back from their behavior.
Dwips, I just found one. PC Gamer, the website I mean, is reporting on it. So yeah, it's gonna be on PC as well. Again, remember Dwips.
Oh guys, an Xbox flash sale!
For the next 36 hours only, you can get between 20 and
Yeah, I don't care.
For the next 36 hours, you can own this and yada 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 bing a bit of this.
Remember, Dwibs, the Xbox Play Anywhere initiative means that any game published by Microsoft goes to PC and Xbox. That's how it works.
The only thing that is an incognita is if the game would be just on the Microsoft Store or also on Steam.
Gears 5 was released day one on Steam, so even that is becoming okay. World premiere.
Oh, world premiere.
Oh,
Purgatory.
Wyoming.
Purgatory.
Wyoming
is Xbox.
Ron Perlman. Okay.
Oh, I love Ron Perlman.
Why not?
So a Western game starring Ron Perlman.
Well, considering Hellboy got rebooted, you gotta do something, right?
To change their mind.
I know it's not Call of Juarez. What?
Oh, it's a Ghost Rider game?
No. It says there's a flaming face. Well, there's an isometric structure.
It does look like Ghost Rider, but we know it's not. Unless it's based off of the old Ghost Rider.
Book style vibe. So, wondering if an artist was behind, he's including the team for the aesthetics.
I mean, it's incredibly similar to Ghost Rider, flaming skull head, cowboy, just like in the movie.
Maybe this is the first Ghost Rider, Joe. The one in the movie is played by
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott, thank you. It was cereal.
Okay, if I were to
Ron, a bit more pathos into it.
Okay, if I were to say my
Dead. The open beta on Xbox One now.
Okay.
Oh, it's third party, I think.
okay, the games shown so far are interesting. I'll give them that. Like, Everwild does look like it could be interesting.
Sea of Thieves update.
Hey, Sea of Thieves, you know... Hey, you know... If, God, that game... I can't remember the name of that. Oh, joy.
Well, that's the thing, Jova.
You know, if Skull and Bones was out now as it was supposed to have been, they probably would have been mopping the floor with this game by now. But then again, maybe they can turn things around.
Actually, Jova, from what I heard from the people who actually play right now, is actually more fun now with all these expansions are getting made.
Joy!
And polished in that kind of sense.
There's just one little problem, though. Too little, too late.
Yeah.
I guess, but don't you consider like an MMO?
I guess. The problem is, like, well, a lot of people were soured on the way the game first turned out. But who knows? Who knows?
It's a No Man's Sky thing, too.
Although...
I mean, the game should have been good on arrival.
Okay, maybe...
Is it going to be on the new Xbox?
Hold on, what is this?
Well, so far they're not telling us anything about that, Whips.
That said, though, who knows?
This game is a masterpiece. Player review.
Is it?
It must be a game that's already out then.
Everything wants you to die. What is this? Is this the Dark Souls of the Xbox brand?
Dangerously addictive.
What is this? This game is the
reason
reason I have trust issues. Wait, what?
You know, I love how
this Tim Schafer giving all these quotes.
The most cruel yet compelling survival experience ever.
Oh, it's another shooter survival thingy.
Yay.
Rust. Oh, it's Rust. Basically, it's a game that's already on PC. Now it's coming to Xbox One.
World
premiere.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Joe, but that's the thing, Joe. The games look fine. They do. Oh, hold on.
Is this a cart?
It looks like a cart
PC racing. Oh, it's another PC game that getting the Xbox release.
Mario Kart, Crash Team Racing, meet your worst nightmare.
Kart Rider Drift. So basically a Mario Kart clone.
That's right, Mario Kart and Crash Team Racing Nitro Field. Your days are numbered now.
And yet, it's probably still gonna be more successful than Team Sonic Racing.
Oh, that. Team Sonic Racing is pretty much done in the water at this point.
What a shame.
You know, the sad thing is, like, well, it's actually a good game. The problem is that Sega just apparently aren't
as
really
usual for the
interested.
expert tradition with the Sega crossover, Sega is not having too much trust into the project.
This looks worse though. This looks so generic and
yeah.
cheap.
Honestly, I don't know.
Great for the audience who gets Funko Pop in their shelves.
I don't know if this is gonna sell better than even Team Sonic Racing.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: the reason people often get kart racers is because those kart racers are a beloved franchise series. This is not.
Oh, it's FTP.
Joe, but Joe, see, here's the thing, Joe. To answer what you were saying earlier. See, here's the thing. Yes, the games look fine, like you were saying earlier. Here's the problem, though. I'm getting so tired of constantly having to say, this looks fine, this looks fine. Why can't Xbox...
Well, would you rather had it disastrous?
Let me finish, too. Why can't Microsoft, for a change, show me something amazing for a change? You know, I'm just tired. I'm tired of games that are just fine.
I mean, okay, apparently Sea of Thieves is better now. The problem is that it didn't start out good, and you know, maybe they'll be able to turn it around, like Final Fantasy XIV.
Also,
However,
I'd rather have a just fine situation than a continuous disastrous, like them keep talking about Just TV or having a car on stage.
Oh God.
Casualizing game. That is easy to pick up and play.
I actually missed the car.
We just celebrated its 15th
I'll admit,
anniversary.
it was a sort of a weird, bizarre, but somewhat enduring tradition that is now sadly dead.
Besides, I was watching Top Gear and the Grand Tour.
I love kart racing games as much as the next guy, obviously, but it's just that this one doesn't seem to be offering anything that I cannot already get from Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Also, this situation on stage right now looks bizarre. You have a pair of developers, of Asian developers. Then the host who looks like your generic late show presenter, and then what looks like a sports celebrity celebrity near him. This is like a sort of a joke or something.
Oh, really? We're really dedicating time towards this kart racing. Okay.
Apparently, Jova 8 seems to be already successful on PC, so that's why they're also porting it on console.
I get that,
Yes,
but
Troy.
do we really need... okay, I guess maybe the console market isn't as familiar with this kart racer. It's just... Here's the thing. We've already got Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel across 3 of the platforms.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's one of those things too where after these 5 years of best just fine, like this company desperately needs a big, amazing game to really spark interest.
Okay. Ignoring that though, here's also a thing. The reason this game probably did well on PC too is like, well, PC is the only place where Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel is not available. Now they're gonna bring it to the Xbox One market where Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel is already available and has apparently been selling.
That's the thing, Jova. Two things. For what
Oh,
I've
it's
seen,
even doing the thing from it's even doing that air glider thing from Mario Kart as well.
from what I've seen, games that have focused on multiplayer, like fighting games, also on and some racing games, usually on PC don't manage to get enough of an audience. Usually, unless they're really like a really powerful brand, or they had a really powerful idea or started more on PC, like Rocket League, for example. So I don't know how. I honestly didn't know this one before checking on the article.
Alright, let's talk about this game then. Okay, I'll admit the track design looks okay, fine. So how about some items?
It's that pressure. It is that pressure.
Does this game have items?
As you can see, he's always like drifting 180s without any like problems.
I mean, okay, yeah, it's got drifting.
It actually might feel sensitive, but the way he's cutting it.
There it
That's
is.
like obligatory in modern games of these kinds.
Those
so
kind of
that's-
shortcuts actually save you like 2-3 seconds.
Is this all the game is? Just racing with no gimmicks?
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. Well, thank you both
Well,
so
if you
much for
like
joining us.
racing
It is a free-to-play, so I'm guessing that's why it doesn't
Here's something. Expecting a kart racer to not have gimmicks, that's kind of like expecting a platformer to not have
That's like the only
platforming.
market I can figure out, Joe.
Okay, game.
Oh, again.
Go away,
Is that
please.
Obscurus Lupa?
First of all, Bleeding Edge.
Oh my god.
Today actually brought us a new look trailer, but
It
Wait,
does
is
look
that-
like her.
dive into that.
Oh great, it's the woman who
Bleeding
made
Edge,
Bleeding Edge.
Oh, Bleeding Edge, that game that
much you can
is
be here to
very
enjoy this,
disappointing. For a name like Bleeding Edge, that game looks incredibly mundane. But maybe they have something better to show us.
Why can't be a meme here showing it?
So it's, the moment-to-moment
As
action,
mentioned
really
before,
fast-paced,
Ninja Theory are an
arcadey
interesting bunch of
evades,
developers.
combos,
The
but
main
then
criticism
there's a
against them
team
is that their
element as well,
games
so
have
it's a
been
really
kind
interesting
of
combination
piss
stuff.
easy or just way,
exciting.
way
I mean, I
too
can
basic.
see characters bleeding. There's that.
Yeah, this is again a game that clearly is aimed at the battle royale audience.
More like the Overwatch crowd, from what I can see.
Yeah, the Overwatch crowd basically.
Unfortunately, it looks like
They
it
even
has...
get their own Zarya ripoff.
Okay, let's see if you can sway our minds with this trailer, Ninja Fury.
I mean, some of these designs actually do look cool.
Yeah, the designs themselves look cool. I'll give it that.
That said, though, you can't just get off on just style. Let's see what you got in the substance.
Yeah, flex that booty, yo.
Okay.
Oh my god, they've even got their own... What's his name from Overwatch ripoff?
Yeah, like I said, there's a Zarya ripoff. I've seen a Junkrat ripoff.
Yeah, that's who I
I've
was
seen a
thinking.
Genji ripoff.
This game just feels like a knockoff in general.
Oh hey, look, there's a McCreever knockoff.
There's a Diva ripoff. March 24, 2020.
So it went from being just dull looking to looking like a knockoff of Overwatch. Which is
Team
maybe
up
not the
close
best
chaos.
thing to do, seeing as how Overwatch has a sequel coming out.
Oh, there you go, Tail. It says right there. It's right there. It's going to be on Steam Day 1, apparently.
That's actually the nickname I used to have for my
So
brother.
Microsoft isn't even keeping their PC games into their own store exclusively anymore.
That's probably for the best. Their storefront sucks.
Yeah, sadly true. The Microsoft Store doesn't have the best interface, nor is appealing in general. I mean, I'll still take that, for example, compared to the Epic Game Store, but that unfortunately doesn't say much.
Oh yeah, the Microsoft Game Store may suck more, but with Epic, you kind of have to give up your soul for that.
She's awesome. She's a new damage class. She's a first hybrid range and melee for the game. She's awesome at getting into the back line, harassing the healers. She's got these.
Well, maybe this game will turn out good. It's just, I'm sorry.
What am I looking at? It's a girl with a cyber lower body of a kangaroo or rooster.
She's supposed to be knockoff Tracer because they're showing off her rear end as much as they show off Tracer.
She even has the pose of the chicken, so that's clearly what they're going, the angle where they're going for, bird of prey and everything.
What's the feedback been like?
Oh, it's been
You'll
amazing.
need to play Bleeding Edge.
I mean, I will give the game this. It has as an Overwatch ripoff. It looks more interesting and appealing that Battleborn was trying to do.
Oh yeah, Battleborn. That was the thing.
And we've got
Yes, and Randy Fitchford still desperately tries to make you remember that. Sorry, Randy, it doesn't work. To the point where we even got to Spielberg, implored Spielberg to include characters in eating scenes of Ready Player One. Talk about being desperate.
Even though Tracer was in that film.
Bold storytelling to, well, an
Oh, bold storytelling? Where?
Here's a look at 3 new games coming to Xbox.
Hopefully they don't rip that off from Overwatch 1 because,
Hello and welcome to Hello and welcome to Dolls, the game.
This is the bold story. This is the bold storytelling.
What's with the lake and eyes?
Oh.
That's a dinosaur's crotch. Wait, Planet Coaster?
Planet Coaster, yes.
Yes, I recognize the dinosaur mascot from that.
Oh,
it's coming to Xbox. Basically, it's already on PC. Basically,
it's a roller coaster tycoon type of game.
Yeah.
If I understood correctly, the prime purpose of this conference is to bring PC games to Xbox.
Well, what if you don't have a powerful enough PC?
I guess.
Jeez, all that.
Like, technically speaking, I would be the ideal target in that case.
I mean, you know, it's definitely a nice thing to do. Also, yeah, I mean, Planet Coaster is definitely a good game. Although, hold on, let me finish. Although, I always thought that these kind of games are better suited for PC since,
yeah,
you know,
I was
there's a
about
lot
to
of
say that
interface.
these gestional games about the amusement park would be probably better to be suited for PC. Also, the real question, can I kill people with this game?
I think
because that's the big appealing of amusement park simulators.
I have played one of the theme park games on PS1, but that was decades ago.
Now here's the big question. Will this be coming to the other consoles too, and they're just not telling us about it?
World premiere.
World premiere.
Oh, here we go again with the world premiere.
On my own.
Xbox Game Studios presents
Fireweed Residential Center.
Xbox Game Studios presents.
Yeah, we know. You just said that.
No, I'm narrating this. I'm adding narration.
No, not you. Not you. The trailer.
Oh, it's
don't not. Oh, is this Life is Strange?
No, otherwise it will be Square Enix still the publisher.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot.
Read each other's
Is this gonna be another Life is Strange spin-off?
You can tell. You can tell it's using the Life is Strange engine. Yeah.
This is wrong. This is all wrong.
I'm guessing it's a new IP.
Yeah, I guess so.
Obviously not gonna be Xbox exclusive.
So it's a story about twins.
Joe, if it's published by Microsoft, that means it's going to be on Xbox One and PC. We'll just have to wait and see.
I don't know how.
Remember, not really have the means to publish games themselves. They require a big publisher to help them.
She was
like they had Capcom doing
Remember me.
Remember me.
I know you want there to be something to
Square for
find.
Life is Strange.
Something that'll make it all make sense.
What, something that'll make it all make sense?
The point is, what the appeal, tell me why. Yeah, tell me why I should buy this game.
Yeah, what exactly is the appeal of this game?
Again, no. Again, the appeal of download games that so far have been the particular. I'll say later.
Boy, they're just machine gunning with the world premieres now.
1972.
Well, remember, Joe, they told us that it was going to be 24 of them.
Okay. You know, to be fair, they're giving us a lot more substance than I hear inside Xbox streams usually have.
Joker, is that you?
Well, hey,
oh my God!
Brown and more.
Game by Mozart.
Beethoven and the T-Rex.
Okay.
Annapurna Interactive.
Oh, Annapurna, the same guys behind that Civilization knockoff that Ubisoft released.
Hey guys, they got the 1970s brown.
I think
Wait,
we saw
I think we've seen this game
one.
before.
Yeah.
Something with the hero wielding an electric guitar.
You know,
the Guitar Hero Platformer Edition.
For a second, I thought they had the guitarist from Queen do the soundtrack.
Okay. Seriously, all of these indie style games just blend in together. They don't really make much of an impression to me.
I'll give them credit. They don't really blend together. Like, this definitely looks rather unique here and there. The problem is that I don't know exactly what the premise of this game is, rather than just Kid Wheels
2D
electric
platformer
guitar.
from the Artful Escape. Yeah, I did remember. It's basically platformer.
Oh, I get
but
that.
I don't remember if it's ultimate.
I thought you said this game was coming out in 1972.
Anyway, Tio, I obviously get that it's a 2D platform. I'm talking about, the premise, the overall gimmick of it.
Well, I guess escapism. This guy just imagined himself to be this guitar hero running around with this psychedelic imagery.
I mean, I'm not saying that they have to tell us everything, but it would be nice if we knew a bit more. Especially,
but whatever, what I was saying before, download usually has the idea of introducing. Yes, it has the more quote-unquote realistic look and the storytelling, but it does introduce the element of something mystical, something unknown, to make things more spiced up. I don't know what in tell me why the thing is supposed to be.
Of course, Project xCloud is our cutting-edge game streaming technology.
Oh, great! We're gonna talk about Project xCloud.
Everything that comes along with it.
What is supposed to be?
The power of Xbox.
Oh, the streaming service.
Yeah.
Why would I want to play Devil May Cry 5 on my smartphone?
Because you can play it anywhere.
Or Tekken 7.
Well, remember too, that way, if you don't have an Xbox or a capable PC like you do, that way you can just use streaming.
Yes, with a smooth 15 frames per second.
Hey, Gears of 5, the totally not controversial latest installment in the franchise.
Yes. Oh, you mean that $60 game that is full of microtransactions? It's basically given the freemium treatment, even though it costs $60.
And also kind of treats its old protagonists like trash in favor of the new protagonists. Too?
And for the record, it was the worst-selling game in the series so far.
For good reason.
Devil May Cry 5, Tekken 7, and many, many others.
Okay,
wow.
the lineup from what I will give this for a streaming service. The lineup is better than the Stadia one, but that's not saying much.
That's hard to accomplish.
Here's the problem with this: it's tracing a trend that does not exist and will not exist for a good long portion of time. This trend will only exist when connections are definitely good enough to actually be able to stream like this. Like, here's the thing that Nintendo Switch has over these: you actually have the game on you. With streaming, you better hope for a good connection, otherwise you may as well just be at home or a place with good internet connection to play these games. Oh, and it's coming to Windows 10 PCs, so yeah, I do believe you have to be close to those PCs for them to work. Well, okay, it's like I said, streaming is very...
The idea of a streaming job is will be that you don't have to possess the game on your own, which I guess for a PC would mean less space on your PC consumed. Yes, please, I can hear you.
What grand adventures in this?
You missed out on...
We're talking about xCloud.
Remind me, dudes, when did you walk out last?
we will support
Right before this, Joe, don't worry, you only missed X
controllers,
Cloud.
including Razer Jungle Cat and Sony
Project X
Razer Jungle Cat.
Razer Jungle Cat.
Oh, hey, it'll be compatible.
I think,
Guys, it'll be. Hold on, guys, it'll be compatible.
Actually, no, that Razer is actually a brand of PC components. They name it with those stupid names. Yes, I remember.
Anyway, guys, it'll be compatible with the Sony DualShock.
That's not big news, Joe. Microsoft has already released support for the DualShock 4 for a long time.
Guys, you can't say the S word on Xbox. That's not.
Dwaves, do I need to remind you that Sakurai made the actual publicity towards the Xbox brand and the Banjo games on a Nintendo Direct?
Yeah, but Nintendo are a bit more friendly in sort of a competition than Microsoft.
It's also,
Today, we will be inviting
Razer Jungle Cats, that sounds like Jungle Evil's brother from Metal Gear 2.
to Canada, Western Europe, Japan, and to India. So if you
I mean, don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
India, the superpower by 2020.
Yeah, because as we all know, most of those places have amazing internet.
Other publishers and
You know, I hate to say it, but
That doesn't mean they should get it.
this is again part of the problem with streaming. Until we get it to the point where, you know, you can have internet connection all over the place, it will never really be that good a substitute as to actually playing the games.
That's something our around here has been wanting for years, for every home to have decent internet.
Yeah, unfortunately, until the...
Oh, look at that, Joe! But EA is going to be a big supporter of xCloud.
Also,
Why
you
am I not
guys have the advantage that your
surprised?
country is not that big. Something like the US of A has a collection of microstates that are each of them are actually larger than the UK.
There you go, Joe. At
I've
Madden.
also been involved in Project xCloud.
Great
What
sports.
does game streaming mean to you?
Well, at EA, we want more
Oh my
players
god.
around the
Okay,
world
not for
Dude,
nothing.
are you high?
to play all
Also, is this gonna be
You
the bulk?
look and sound like you're high. Can you give me some? I need it.
So is this gonna be like the bulk of the Inside Xbox you're talking about? Project X Cloud?
Well, Joba, I haven't seen a single celebrity yet, so here's hoping.
even when you don't have the
Oh
same
god,
devices.
yeah.
And now that cloud gaming is starting to become a reality,
Seriously, even as a lazy eye, the left eye is lazier than the right one.
Maybe
Clearly
he
has
was
to
in-
do something.
Maybe he was incredibly nervous and just decided to take some to calm his nerves.
5 years ago, and the
He's already get a 1 month EA access.
1 month
Yeah,
of
no.
access is free with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate.
Oh,
steal.
joy. Microsoft, please don't get into bed with the devil.
but it starts.
Although, funnily enough, remember that time when there were rumors that Microsoft were going to purchase EA?
On all of your devices, no matter how
Yeah,
you want to
Yeah,
play.
that was an interesting. Yeah,
That's the problem, Java. For how much it failed, it keeps failing and keeps having the losing of its interest. Like I said, Java, unfortunately, with the sports game managing to having a secure place, EA still managed to keep a high position in a shit ton of money.
Yeah, the only
Whether
time
we
that
like it
they'll...
or not.
Probably the
Which
only...
actually does makes me wonder of a thing. If EA is just content with doing that, why doesn't it just stop making other games than licensed sports stuff?
like an army.
Because they want to still try and make
Well,
money.
Konami doesn't have anything aside from PES, it leaves, so in terms of license for stuff.
Nice. But name some games for me, Ken. What did you play, and what else is coming from EA to Project xCloud?
Well, one of our flagship games that has roots as deep as Electronic Arts itself.
Mass Effect Andromeda!
And I'm excited to
Oh,
announce
sorry,
that
too
Madden
soon.
NFL
Anthem! Oh god,
NFL.
way too
now
soon.
available on Project xCloud. Available.
Yay, guys! NFL! Aren't you so excited? Football!
I wish instead we got an NFL Super Pro licensed video game.
No, thank you. I prefer European football.
About how to make our players, or how our players want to play games in a streaming world.
Not even kidding, dude.
The thing with this series, that this series only really appeals to Americans because American
looking at some of our
football
indie
is, well,
studios that
for
we partner
Americans,
with
you
to
know.
bring
So
forward.
it's
So we're gonna be
really
bringing
Wouldn't it
very
make-
limited
games to
appeal.
xCloud
Wouldn't it
when
make more
comes to
sense to have them talk about something like
That's amazing
FIFA here?
news, Ken. Thank you so much.
Well, very in London. We should talk about something more European. It's kind of backwards, Joe. I remember how the EA conference last year, not this year, last year at E3, had the Champions League being proudly presented there, and nobody gave a shit because we were Americans.
Not only that, do you remember Microsoft E3 2015 that had Pele?
Yeah,
Freaking Pele.
wasn't it EA, but had Pele?
I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure it was Microsoft's. Pedro.
It just said there. Sorry, go ahead.
Wasn't it Microsoft's E3 2015 that had Pele, or was it EA's?
I forgot.
I think that was EA.
I thought it was Microsoft because then the following year they had Mourinho show up, and maybe that was EA's.
I don't even remember.
The point being is like, well, yeah, backwards thinking here. Like, it would have made more sense to bring Pele to an event in Europe like this.
/game streaming. Get on that. Tons of exciting
No, thank you. I don't want to get into game
Pedro,
streaming.
get
You know,
This is
hey guys.
Yes.
You know, for as much problems as you've had with state of plays, I think that has two
How
advantages.
Chinese is boldness.
I think that has two advantages over this.
No, you don't say.
Oh, again with the David Letterman knockoff.
It's Major Nelson too.
Whoa,
Didn't he used to have a beard?
Anyway, the two different. It's shorter and it gets to the point.
Oh, Xbox Black Friday sale.
The point may
Also,
how much you may like the point depends on your point of view, but at least it gets to one.
Also, isn't Major Nelson the guy who went into a discussed argument with Egridge preview?
Yeah, it was, but that was a long time ago.
Guys, who doesn't have this?
Oh great, I get some skins for Fortnite included. Not an actual game, some skins for a game I might not even care about.
Oh joy, like.
Well, to be fair, I guess I can resell them. I'm pretty sure, being the multiplayer F2P that is, Fortnite probably has a black market that could potentially resell them. But being
Fortnite black market.
Included with the console, that unfortunately means that will be very common, so their value will not be that high. Don't underestimate the black market for multiplayer games, Jova. Not even kidding. The tier 2 market collapsed in one night because Valve actually accidentally fucked up the code and released a bunch of exclusive super rare items, making them more common, making their price drop like flies.
It's just like okay, I'm glad that the hosts at least are not making super cringy jokes as they usually do, but they still lack charisma. They're so boring to listen to.
Where's Phil Spencer, for that matter?
That's a good point, actually.
He'll show up.
Coming to it's Yakuza?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Yakuza.
Oh, Yakuza. Wait, Yakuza on a Microsoft?
Oh, they already
played it on PS4 and PC, so
they already started having. Well, if I recall correctly, the Xbox fans were still asking for them, so why not? I guess the PC ports were just making sure they would work on a console outside of PlayStation, and then moving on from there.
Well, at this rate, all that's missing is to bring the other Kingdom Hearts games to Microsoft, or I don't know, bring in whatever else is usually exclusive to the year, but they've been asking for Microsoft.
The Molasses Floss. What an interesting name for a studio. Aww.
And that was the
what the fuck was that?
Whoa!
Yeah, it's like she's a disappointed Xbox.
Corviknight, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be in Pokemon.
Okay.
That seems ominous.
There to enter my magical landscape. And she died.
Maybe this wasn't such a good idea!
Yet another indie generic-looking game. I'm really getting tired of these games, to be honest.
We don't know if it's indie.
I mean, okay, indie. I said indie style. I said indie style.
What?
It doesn't.
What constitutes indie style? I mean, indie is like a massive variety.
Okay, let me make it be as clear as I possibly can, Jova. I want a game on the level of quality of God of War. That's what I want. I'm tired of only okay games.
Drake Hollow.
So basically, the premise of this game is that teenagers from the real world get pulled into this mystical world and do stuff.
Isn't that the Gears logo on the background?
No, at least not from what I've seen. The Gears logo has a more generic skull.
All access.
An Xbox One console bundle, a 24-month membership to Xbox Game Pass.
I got a lot by the advertise also mentioned because we not symbols for the front and center.
Yeah, guys, that's a bit tone deaf.
I mean, I guess N2 was right, it's not as disastrous as people were thought to be, but it had the same unfortunate timing and same Metroid
Access is now available in the UK and Australia.
Here's the thing, Gio. Banjo and Kazooie Nuts and Bolts is pretty much the Federation force of the series.
Yeah, again, I said I watched the N2's review.
Well, it's not just that, but honestly, the gameplay
Why
itself...
are you giving us like a fake tattoo? Whatever.
One of
Xbox
those
Game
things.
Studios.
What is this? Oh, okay.
Wait, for you, stream?
From the beginning. Oh, it's saying, oh, is it Halo Reach?
Oh, is it that new Halo game?
No, actually, no, Jova. Basically, we're updating the Master Chief Collection with Halo Reach, but I don't think we had a release date until now. So I guess this is the one.
Oh, yeah, this is also
Basically,
coming to
Jova,
PC.
if you don't know, Halo Reach is considered by the city, the fans, possibly one of the best games in the series. It is a prequel that tells the event of how things started to get in motion from the first Halo Combat Evolved. But I don't know much, aside from the fact that it kind of functions like credit score. You command a team that you know is gonna die.
You know, Microsoft, are you actually going to show Halo Infinite? Because that game is less than a year away, but we haven't seen any gameplay from that yet.
It feels like they're afraid to show Halo Infinite. Okay, I think I know how...
December 3rd.
Now, I think I know how I can describe this inside Xbox. It feels like... I'm gonna say this, it feels like a Wii U era Nintendo Direct. Not necessarily bad, but definitely feels like it's lacking in what he could be.
How does Halo Reach fit into the Master Chief Collection?
Well, Halo Reach is sort of the prequel.
It's a Halo game.
The whole saga of Master Chief's journey
Good job,
before the
Dez, good
events of
job.
Halo Combat Evolved. So whether you're an old-time fan or new to the franchise, it's the perfect place to jump in.
Okay.
That's cool, don't get me wrong.
When
so,
do I get to
but it's an old
We are
game.
close now, December 3rd.
Yeah, which
We're
is sort of
super
the
excited. Halo
thing.
Reach will be coming
I
to
mean,
Xbox
here's the
One,
thing.
and for the
People
first time, PC
say what you will about
exclusive.
Nintendo and their massive amount of ports, but those ports are usually for, a well-selling console from a games console that didn't sell that well. And sadly, the Nintendo Switch does not have backwards compatibility.
Game Pass for Xbox and on PC as well. In addition, we are now live for pre-orders on Microsoft Store and Steam for the first time.
Oh, that's going to be a good
Live on pre-orders, guys!
That was camped out.
I remember
No,
you got
thank
the
you, I'm
launch
fine.
party.
Oh, this is
I mean, I
awesome.
do that, but I don't think my PC has requirements powerful enough to play this. Because I did want to get it.
For a long time, the world
Again,
was
Theo,
waiting
you can
for a
always
long
use
time for Halo
xCloud.
to come to PC for real now.
No, I don't think so. Again, it still requires my PC to have decent requirements, and it probably doesn't have them.
It's like I said with
I
streaming,
mean,
it's like...
it can be on my possession or on stream, but if my RAM of gigabyte is still shit, it's still shit.
It's like I say with streaming, it's like, well, I mean, yeah, they talk about how great streaming is. The problem is, like, well, it requires you to have a lot of...
Oh, Flight Simulator.
Flight Simulator.
Oh, there you go. You a fan of that game, Dibs?
I like Flight Simulators.
Nice.
So there you go, Dibs.
Captured in real-time 4K.
Here's the game for you, then.
Dude. Space and shit. Or like automatic sky and shit.
Where did you learn to fly?
Jova, we're past that.
Flight Simulator. Yeah, I gotta say, this actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's running on 4K. It should look good.
Yeah, what I normally like to do
Is this actual in-game footage?
Yeah.
It does run also at 60 frames, so...
Oh, never mind. Oh, never mind. Now it is, yeah.
Yeah, what I normally do is I struggle to take to actually get the plane to take off.
Okay,
When
so...
I finally mastered that, I just flew as gently as I can and then made it disastrous. Like
Okay.
So it's like the Top Gun NES game.
Okay, so from what I can tell, you fly a plane. What else do you do in this game?
Well, it's called Flight Simulator.
Yeah, it's kind of like Farming Simulator, Pedro. You do exactly what the title says you do.
I mean, Flight Simulator's been
The
around
only
for
difference
decades.
is that I guess in this case it has an audience that extends other than German.
Well, considering that doesn't seem like it has a lot of replay value, I really hope it doesn't cost $60 on arrival.
Oh, it has a lot of replay value, but it's definitely not, you know...
I mean, there are different
planes,
you
different
can play different modes you can do.
Oh, really? Oh, never mind then. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically centered around flying, but there are usually different modes.
What is
First
this?
Flight Simulator came out in 1980.
Oi, what's this?
It's not
hold on.
Assassin's Creed.
No.
It's...
Oh, it's this Age of Empires 4? Yay!
Oh, Age of Empire!
Well, wait,
Age of
why is he still in medieval time?
Well, maybe this is Age of Empires 2.
No, it has a distinct different feeling, a distinct different look onto it. It has to be 4.
Let me see.
And that's a classic theme. Yeah, it even has the trebuchets and everything.
Isn't this series exclusive to PC though?
Yes.
I guess it's coming to Xbox now.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Age of Empires 4.
Both kinds of good. But again, that's weird. The thing with Age of Empires is that each new game took a look into the history of mankind as it went on. The first was the first was pre-civilization, like Egyptian stuff like that. The second was medieval times. The third was instead more discovery of American stuff. So everyone thought that war was going to be up more around, you know, Napoleon or the wars.
Did we already go into how Alec are able to make this game considering they're owned by Sega?
Actually, no. Remember, they can do that still. Microsoft formed a contract for that for this.
So what, did Microsoft go to Sega and ask, can we relic these?
Pretty much.
And then the second are two of our civilizations, the Mongols and the English.
All right. Now I gotta talk to you about
the Mongols and the
Empires is a
English.
20-year franchise with millions of people around the world who played it. What does it mean for your team to bring a new title into the family of this?
Huge responsibility. What the fuck do you think, Major? Seriously, why do you keep asking? Why people keep asking these stupid questions during game conferences and interviews? What answer do you want to know? Oh no, we are not capable of doing this. Bye.
You have to understand, Teo, that the people at Microsoft are completely out of touch with
No, it's not just Microsoft. A lot of other conferences do this. It seems almost like a ritual that needs to be performed. Otherwise, the game doesn't turn out well.
Yeah, Tio's right. Like all the big free have sessions like these where they ask those boneheaded questions.
There is casting information from developer and then they're stating the fucking obvious.
I mean, imagine if they asked.
Will you have fighting in this fighting game?
Oh god, Yakuza auf Xbox.
It's German. But anyway, I was just gonna say, can you imagine if they asked, hey, do you think you'll do a shit job of making the game? Yes. Oh shit. I mean, no.
Yeah, apparently people are already really happy with Yakuza coming to Xbox.
Well, that's to be expected.
Wait to get their age fixed, right? Because today is a very special day, right?
Today is an amazing day. I'm so excited. It's the launch day.
So far,
what?
Oh, for Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. Yeah, I'm playing to get it.
The stream itself is having issues, it seems.
I think I said you see it's to build suspense. It's today.
It's out now.
No.
Yeah, I'm still planning on getting it. Here's hoping my PC can actually handle it.
come along with us.
I mean,
on
Age of
this
It's
journey.
Age of Empires
So
2.
play
Yeah, but it's like improved. It's using a new engine. It has better textures and everything, so it does have higher requirements than the base version.
Speaking of RTSs, when's that Command and Conquer compilation coming out?
That's the 8 waves. You have to ask them.
I mean, I'm a console gamer, so this isn't really for me.
Alright, I'm sending more archers. Left tower.
20 years ago.
20 years ago. Back when...
Basically, like, yeah, it's a montage of people playing Age of Empires 2. Yeah, I can imagine that.
I was
to be
really,
honest, I was like one of those people. Believe it or not,
those kinds of PCs in 1999.
believe it or not, it was my mother who actually introduced me to Age of Empires 2.
Wow.
It was actually an interesting. Yeah, it has a slight nostalgic value to me.
Well, good on them for bringing it back like
But
this.
here's the big question: will you still be able to use the cheats?
Oh, please. And please don't sell us the cheats as DLC.
Cheats though, not features.
T.O. Konami sell cheats as DLC.
Yeah, I know. Whatever. That's not what I meant.
New DLC for this game, the last Final Cons or whatever it's called. There's a new expansion for Age of Empires 2.
What is it called?
The something of Cons.
I'll check it out later.
Oh, Xbox One in 2020. This should be interesting.
So, more trailers? I feel.
There he is.
Oh, this is footage of
E3 though. Oh.
I think it's a montage. Gotta need a montage.
I feel like we should still have some more time.
Why did that guy have a lemur on his back?
That's the thing, Tail. This is the British host who always comes to these British inside Xboxes.
Okay, so we've been in for about an hour. I'd say the best thing from this was, I guess the news that Sea of Thieves is now actually a substantial game. Took long enough.
The Crossfire X will bring intense gameplay experience accessible.
What are your thoughts on the stream so far, T.O.?
It's fine. The segment about the streaming service is clearly the lowest moment for me so far.
Yes, definitely for me too. I think my only comment is like, well, I wish that we could see more of the games, and that, like, well, I mean, yeah. It feels like they're kind of resorting to just world premiere, world premiere, world premiere. We'll see a tiny segment of gameplay footage, which may or may not be scripted.
Yeah, not for nothing, Microsoft.
Oh, Remedy!
You know Remedy. You had a falling out with Remedy. Sorry, you know Microsoft. You had a falling out with Remedy. Are you sure this is a good idea?
Well, I guess they want to try
Basically,
well, this is like a montage of the past of Xbox, so I guess.
Actually, guys, what they're doing, they're working with Free Studio to bring a popular shooter thing to Xbox.
So they're working with Remedy again?
So like you can do
like
leaning,
I don't think it's.
Well, so much for Remedy getting bought by Sony.
Well, that was a rumor. There was nobody.
Well, now it's officially confirmed.
Not necessarily. Just because a Microsoft employee visited Remedy doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Whatever. Whatever. The point is like, well, apparently, so Microsoft are still apparently working with Remedy for something here.
We have that mode available to you. If you like battle royales, like I do, we've got one of those.
Okay, yeah, you're describing this game. Can we see the game though? Like, okay, here's my issue with these sort of things. I'd rather they show the game for. Oh, they're just talking about those games. I thought this was building up to something
Again,
new.
Joe, this is supposed to be a montage of this guy going around the world and talking to the developers.
What's the point then? I mean, okay, look, it's all nice and well, but...
What is this actually?
Oh.
I think this was the game they were talking about.
A game that supposedly already exists. Maybe I'm just out of the loop much, but I'm a bit, you know, caught up in what's what here.
That music go. Smilegate. Oh, it's X gonna give it to you. Why?
Because it was good in Deadpool.
Okay, but you know, oh, Crossfire.
Crossfire X.
Go, let it go!
That's why the X is in the title. Sure, why not?
I mean, I like the song, but how random.
So now that's gonna be the new fad. People are gonna insert X, gonna give it to you in anything that has the X in the title.
I mean, that'd be a great feature for Sonic X.
Oh, please. What did the X stand for in Sonic X anyway?
Nothing. It was just Sonic X because
Sonic
because
X.
the Japanese like to do that.
No.
Oh, great! It's a free-to-play game, which means it's
Only on Xbox consoles. Wait. Only on Xbox consoles? Hello.
Because as we all know, freemium games are so great.
Well, some of them are fun.
We made it all together at the same time. Look at that.
But how are you feeling?
Excited. This crowd is awesome. Thank you, Violet.
So, okay, so that's what they're building.
Okay, pro tip, you don't have to repeat the word awesome 100 times, not making it convincing the more you say it.
So basically,
that's what they were supposed to name the game.
So basically, they had 3 game companies all pair up to create this game. Okay.
For you all to get a chance to
Oh,
play the
great.
game
Well,
next
I'm gonna
year.
be doing something else.
That's weird, but whatever.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the idea of collaborations, but for a freemium game of all things.
Let me check if Crossfire X
World premiere.
World premiere. Let's see.
Annapurna, Variable State.
Annapurna. Oh, got another one.
London.
You know, next time, if we do
Donna.
another one of these, we'll have a drinking game. Drink every time an indie game shows up.
More like
Annapurna aren't indie. Last I checked.
No, it's not. I think what this means is a game that has the look and feel of an indie game.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, Body Switch. Is it like Freaky Friday, the video game?
Well, maybe it'll be more easier to understand than your name.
Unforgettable Adventure. Wait, is your name a movie about body switching?
Yeah, yes, that's Makoto Shinkai's idea of the Freaky
Makoto
Friday.
Shinkai, but I knew that it was a Freaky Friday type of plot.
It's basically the most amazing, epic, supernatural body exchange movie ever.
Between
But
a boy and a
does it
girl.
have a nice skybox?
Of course it does too. Obviously.
This is another new thing. What is this? This holiday!
Fortnite.
Let me check if
Get fired up, yo! Darkfire bundle.
Darkfire bundle.
So you split apart 2 Fortnite announcements in the same stream. Like, why not just mention this the first time you mentioned
Oh,
Fortnite?
it's Minecraft.
You guys there?
Yes.
Yes. Minecraft Dungeons. Coming April 2020.
I care so much.
Me neither.
Just check, Joe. The Crossfire X is coming to PC as well.
I figured. But it'll be exclusive console-wise on Xbox. Isn't that the best?
It doesn't look bad. It's just not my kind of thing.
Neither me.
Like, don't scream, lady. Come on.
That's the
Also-
thing, Teo. This woman is always super excited in these things. She's.
And by that, you probably mean she's faking to be super excited.
Remember, Teo, this is the woman who did that high five awkward moment in the previous one.
I mean, we can talk
The
about
next
geez.
one.
Let's just play it instead, live here on stage.
Surprisingly, she allowed her hair to get longer since last time.
Really? Okay, here's another pet peeve I have. When they spend more time talking about games that we already know well enough, as opposed to the games that we don't know enough about. Like, come on, really? You're spending time to talk about a Minecraft game over... Again, I get that maybe you didn't have much to talk about with Everwild, but maybe tell us more about what Everwild is. Like, here's a newsflash. Just because you show a new IP doesn't mean that that's enough. Maybe it would, just for once, I would like to see them actually explain what a new IP is the same time that they debut it. Like, I'm pretty sure Splatoon, when it first debuted, got, you know, at least a nice info section here.
Oh, great, procedurally generated.
It's just one of those things, again. like I've said, okay, I'm not even saying that the games that have been shown look bad. They don't. I mean, if you're into these kinds of games, that's cool. More power to you. It's just that
someone has done it.
I mean, remember, like if Microsoft was a third-party company, I would be a bit more lenient on them.
We've implemented lots of cool things about this, such as like you can revive each other if someone's knocked out.
Yep. Oh,
So as they're sorry.
Someone dinged
Microsoft was a third-party company, I would be more lenient on them when it comes to these things that they're offering here. But goddamn, like, show me something awesome, something amazing that shows off the power of your fucking console for a change.
Hey, this is going to get pretty hairy here.
Yeah,
we're coming up.
You want to give us a hand?
Yeah, I do. Let's do this. Right, it's that one and that one. Okay, right.
There we go.
I'm in.
So the game adapts difficulty automatically, right? So now with 3 people, it's going to be a bit harder.
Oh, great.
As we see, okay, now we have lots of enchanters.
Where's that creeper a different color?
That was an enchanted creeper as well. They're really,
We also have, we're also most likely going to get a Xenoblade Chronicles 3 or whatever new Xenoblade title is.
We're getting a remake.
Yeah, right now Monolith is remaking the first game, Xenoblade.
Amazingly, they managed to not spoil anything with that trailer.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Well, it doesn't need to. I mean, people have already played the game on the Wii and the new 3DS.
You'll see, someone found TNT there. Let's see if someone can pick it up. Cool.
Oh, we
so
can bring that with
TNT,
us.
obviously, you can throw that with a giant explosion.
It's just that,
And you see all the different
yes,
particle
it's
effects
okay
and all
to
the things
have
that's happening.
these
That's
small
those abilities that people are using.
/indie-like, I mean indie-like, it's okay to have these, because Sony and Nintendo all have these as well, so that's cool. But you have to also have diversity by including some big games, like some really big games. Nintendo has a lot of indie games on the Switch, they do, but you know what they also have? They have Luigi's Mansion 3, they have Xenoblade, they have Breath of the Wild, they have Mario, they have, you know, big awesome things that immediately catches our eye.
Microsoft have something like that. Halo Infinite. The problem is that they don't seem to be
They're not
focusing
showing
on it.
Where is it then?
And I think Halo Infinite is like the only big thing they really have AAA wise. I mean, okay, yes, there's also Sea of Thieves, but again, as far as the general gaming public are concerned, Sea of Thieves had its chance. Now, maybe it will get better. Like, okay, Tio, so you've heard that Sea of Thieves has gotten better, apparently?
Yeah.
So, like, how much better?
Oh, wait.
Hashimoto, what are you
What are you doing here?
Oh, wait. Oh, my God. Are they actually about to do what I thought they may do
And
with
also,
Kingdom
it's
Hearts?
Ichiro Azama. What? You're getting a DCNT port here?
Maybe they're bringing...
Hashimoto, for those who don't know, Shinya Hashimoto is one of the big producers at Square Enix.
He's also the guy who's responsible for one of the more colorful moments that involved them sort of hyping us up for that 7 remaster.
Believe me, I actually met the guy in person in the con, so...
How is he?
Jovial.
Wait,
You're getting... Great, I can play the 13 trilogy on Xbox!
Yay!
Great. All the Final Fantasy games on Xbox are coming to Game Pass.
Can we also get ports of the games that are also on Steam and the ones that haven't got the PC release yet, like 1 and 2? That'd be nice.
That would be nice.
I mean, Tactics would be a nice bonus, but then again, it's not a mainline title, unfortunately. So 1 and 2 for now will just be fine.
Wait, something else?
10 different SKUs in sequence to Xbox Game Pass starting next year, 2020.
Wow, that's amazing.
Why not now?
I gotta love how fake her acting is. Wow, that's amazing.
It's like that green screen MLG effect. Wow! Okay, Azama, what would you want to show?
Oh, executive producer Kingdom Hearts.
Yep. I think I called it.
Azama right now is focusing just on the CDNT. Why is it associated with Kingdom Hearts?
Let me guess, they're porting over 1.5 and 2.5.
Why not 2.8 as well?
Let's listen.
Let's see if they do.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
There it is.
Which actually does it makes me question what button will be associated for the reaction commands of 2, because it was triangle for the PlayStation releases.
The Y button, Theo. The Y button is the triangle of the Xbox controller.
Isn't the X button the triangle equivalent?
No, Theo. The X button is the square button equivalent.
That's how odd.
Well, okay, so at least.
Oh, fantastic.
So at least now Xbox One players can play the story from the start. That started on Kingdom Hearts 3 for
I mean,
them.
it's not. Honestly, it's nice enough. I don't really have a complaint with this.
But why didn't they do this before 3 came out?
I guess there was a rights issue or something.
So the
Even
story
though it was
so
a
far-
rights issue, or Square didn't think it was
there you go.
releasing on Xbox.
There you go. The story so far is coming to Xbox One.
Which is basically the package containing all the titles so far until
All
3.
collected into one game. Because we can't have enough re-releases.
Wait.
Huh?
Oh, apparently they're releasing a Kingdom Hearts 3 demo.
Oh. Is that for advertising the DLC?
I'm sorry, no. It's a demo for Kingdom Hearts 3. Square, you do know that... Pedro...
January, actually.
The correct demo that you should release is the one about the Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's the one that's coming out at the beginning of next year, you know.
But that's PS4.
Pedro
Well, it's
was...
getting a PC also released, so why not having it, announced it now?
Pedro, was I just in a coma? I could have sworn
Ultimate
Kingdom Hearts 3
Nitro
was out
Discord
already.
Spotify.
Well, Joe, remember, Sonic Lost World also got a demo post-release for some reason.
I do not understand Japanese developers with this
And Resident
sometimes.
2, and Resident 2, remember?
Why is there an extra with a Jack flag behind it?
To remind you that this is in London.
Okay, yeah, but like, isn't it redundant? Oh, and that's on. Okay, Liz, what was that flag?
I don't know.
I hope it was in Kakistan.
For a moment, I thought they were gonna wave an Italian flag there. It had
No,
white
it was
and
green, but white and green.
Yeah.
Typical Microsoft.
App for playing games with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and Discord.
Is this how we cap things off? They're capping it off with the announcement of ports?
For console and PC and Xbox Live Gold.
Yep.
So you can
Well, from what I
get all the
understand, we've
deals
still
and
got like
exclusives
20
and
minutes
Xbox
left.
Game Studio titles on launch day, just like
Alright,
PS5.
Microsoft. Let's see if you got a big closer.
Oh, that guy with the monster hat.
I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Right. Anyway.
Oh, an Xbox Games Pass commercial. Let's see.
Well, do we really need a commercial for Xbox Games Pass after they've already been talking non-stop about it throughout this?
Well, we need around.
It's available now. Rage 2. Okay, that's good.
The Lego Ninjago movie.
Oh, the movie that people do not like. Maybe the game is better.
A co-op shooter, kind of like, the Talos Principle. Talos
The
Principle
Talos
is old, though.
Age of Wonders Planetfall.
Age of Empires to the Video Edition.
Age of Empires.
Oh wait, does that mean that it's also available on Xbox One? Because Darksiders.
I remember too. There's also Xbox Game Pass for PC.
I understand that. What I mean is that the reverse, like is Xbox.
On the bottom right corner, they say whether it's for console or PC or both. You have like little icons.
Oh, okay. I'll go check it later then. Because that's the thing. RTSs like that on a console don't work that much. Also, still need to get to Darksiders 3.
Oh yes, Halo Reach, of course.
Halo.
Have I ever told you about my friend Pedro?
I still don't understand what the fuck is up with that game.
Well, it's apparently a very good one.
The traders.
Honestly, Pedro, my friend Pedro's a pretty good one. I think you'd like it. And it's named after you.
Well, that's the thing, Joe. It's actually a common name, so. Yeah, get that hip music, yo.
Let me see.
Yes.
No, Theo. I'm checking right now. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition is still PC exclusive.
Okay. Well, again, honestly, as much as it maybe sound like a waste, I don't think it would work decently enough on on a console. Oh yeah, that's right. Ori and the Will of the Wisp. When we're getting that game?
Yeah, why didn't you show that? That's actually one game that I will actually like to see. Why didn't you show that?
I deem this Inside Xbox to return the stream of missed opportunities.
Like seriously, like okay, you want okay? That's like the one small skill game that you guys have in store that I'm actually interested in.
What?
Oh, another montage.
Oh, montage.
Do we need another montage on top of the first montage?
I guess it's the indie montage.
Timing.
Yeah, these looks clearly indies. Wait, was that cave story? Oh, Streets of Rage 4.
Oh yeah, that game's looking good.
ID at Xbox.
That's it, I'll probably get Streets of Rage 4 on the PS4 than Nintendo
Unleash
Switch.
your inner hero. Yeah, I get Streets of Rage 4. That looks nice. Embrace your dark side.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I actually know that game where you play It's a Monster for the Unknown. Well, I'll see one later. Make your own rules.
Yeah, not gonna lie, Streets of Rage 4 is looking pretty awesome.
Oh, hold on. Age of Empires 4 is coming to... Oh, never mind. It's Windows 10, it says here. It says here that the platforms of Age of Empires 4 are Windows 10 and Microsoft Windows. Isn't that redundant?
Huh. Yeah, it is.
Skatebird.
Skatebird.
Aww. It's a physics. Yeah, there we go. Carry on. Basically, Jova, it's an alien type of game where you play as the monster. It's actually quite refreshing.
Balls?
So, yeah.
What the hell am I looking at?
So Taylor, I guess Microsoft agrees with you. Age of Empires wouldn't really work well on a console.
Well, again, it's nothing to be against the Xbox brand. It's just that control-wise, it is more effective with a mouse and keyboard.
Oh, Luna Knights.
I understand that.
Double kick heroes.
Can we have a look at Ori?
Hey, maybe they'll show it at the end of this.
She dreams elsewhere, not here apparently.
You know what? Show Halo Infinite. I'm not into Halo, but I'll take it at this point.
Please let Halo Infinite be like the final thing. Also, my friend Pedro, that game still is pretty good.
It lurks below.
I did not give people permission to use that name.
Well, Pedro, I didn't. Well, Pedro, I didn't give David Cage permission to use my name, but here we are.
I guess.
Look at the bright side. At least your name got used in a great game. My name is in the meme of Heavy Raid.
Age of Eternity.
Edge of Eternity.
It's an MMO.
Alright.
Play them all at launch with Xbox trademark Game Pass.
Don't you just love those tunnels that simulator
There's no trademark to you.
I made it. Shut Xbox. Up. What the fuck is that? Get the ball. Oh, is that a pachinko machine?
Oh my god.
Wow, did you see all those games coming to Game Pass? I did. We should play that again.
Oh no, I think it's a game you play.
No, please don't play it again.
And the one you landed, you get that one.
Guys, I don't know if we mentioned.
Background. Can we watch that?
Guys,
that's per part yet. Besides, we already got a lot of marketing anyway.
Why are they showing it in the? Oh wait, that's right. It's at the event.
Well, live stage demos, but we have there.
Great games from series like Battlefield, FIFA, Mass Effect, and more.
Mass Effect? You are aware that franchise is dead right now, right?
Probably someone didn't get the memo.
Yeah.
Now we've had an absolutely incredible time here at X019.
I didn't.
Now we're joined
Debatable, but okay. I mean, from what I have heard of Inside Xboxes, apparently this one had more substance than they normally do.
Oh, there's Phil Spencer.
Oh, there's Phil.
God, he looks old.
Where have you been? Where have you been, Phil?
Noticeably older. What happened to you, man?
I'm guessing the stress of the Xbox One days is starting to take a toll on him. Seriously, look at him before the Xbox One days. He looks so much more upbeat and younger and happy.
It's like, oh god, just let me get
community of Xbox gamers, people that just love video games. come here.
So, Phil, you got Halo Infinite to show us?
It's all about the fans, and
He barely shaved his mustache apart. Come on.
Phil, not for nothing, Phil, but if it really is all about the fans like you claim, then how come you didn't give us Alan Wake 2 then? Because that was fans asked for that.
I guess Remedy weren't playing ball.
They were, Joe, but that's the thing. Microsoft, ones were not keeping ball, or however hell you say that. According to Remedy, that was Microsoft who needed to play ball.
Don't Remedy own the Alan Wake IP themselves now?
Yeah. That's the thing, but that's the thing, this has been a thing that's going on for years, though.
So now the burden of Alan Wake should be on Remedy.
Yeah, you know.
Fans also asked for Sunset Overdrive 2. Why didn't you do that before Sony bought them?
That's a good question, actually.
Yeah, like I love how this is my problem with Phil Spencer, Joe. He keeps saying, "Oh, it's all for the fans, it's all for the fans," and yet you don't ever try to do anything for that fans actually have asked for.
It's more the fact that he's referring to having a generic term. What kind of fans are you referring to?
There's just so much in development. And there's so few shows
I
that I think this should just be
so much.
I mean, if you want to be elitarist, like in referring to just a specific group of people, like say Sony does, I'd be understanding that.
More games! Hooray!
You know, it's that kind of thinking that
Minecraft W is everything I ever wanted. Thanks.
You know, guys, it's that kind of thinking that got us Section 52.
What, more games?
Yeah, quantity over. That's exactly my. It's very good, jokes. You just summed up my entire problem with this entire Inside Xbox. Thank you.
Wasn't the problem with Action 52 because there was no quality control from the publisher?
That too, yeah, but I was mentioning something else. Quantity over quality. That's my issue with this, because there's a lot of games here, but none of them really stand out to me as like this amazing thing that I need to go out of my way to play.
And I don't feel like we've gotten to see enough of these games, like I said before. I get that it's new
Hey,
IP.
Joe, but if you released that,
Hey, look, Jason is on Twitter saying shit, apparently.
Joe, what did we told you about using Twitter for Xbox?
Well, we use Twitter for our own channel, goddammit, and would you believe that there's actually a class involving that?
We're on it, and we'll continue to do our work to bring the games that you want on our
Scottish?
The Witcher, Poland pretty proud. That's nice, Matt, but The Witcher is pretty much over as a video game series. Now you should be focusing on Cyberpunk 2077.
Guys, more Project X Cloud.
Great.
Okay, Microsoft, we get it.
Dawn for Life. This guy is called Dawn for Life.
We're building this hand in hand with you.
Say it with me. Kingdom Hearts on Xbox High.
Wait, what game is that?
An indie.
Minecraft Dungeon looks like my kind of game. Yeah, they're definitely filtering off this
Killer
shit.
Instinct.
Hey guys, remember that from...
Oh yeah, that's another game that the fans have been asking to have. A new Killer Instinct, and yet Microsoft refuses to give.
I mean, the thing is, after season 3, the roster was pretty much completed. They had all the veterans and added a substantial amount of characters, had different modes and everything. So technically speaking, the game was done. I'm not sure what a sequel or another. The only other major improvement I could have seen was an entire season 4 with complete new characters, I guess. But at the point that the game had lost momentum, unfortunately.
Multiple years from now, and we're working on this with the community so that.
Okay, there's definitely a problem.
Microsoft, get your streaming servers.
Yeah. You know, a problem with the stream is like, well, they keep repeating certain things. Like, I get that it's not an E3 conference, but come on, guys, we get it. Project X Cloud is your new thing. Hey, you know what else was also going to be your new thing that you tried to hammer into our heads? Oh, all the things of the original Xbox One, and we all know how that turned out.
One is obviously Obsidian, and we saw Grounded here today. I'm spending a ton of
All
hours
right,
in
now
the
let's talk
Outer
about how we
Worlds
bought
right now,
these
not done yet.
companies. Like,
Level
can we
22,
just get to the
getting close.
point? I
But
know that
I
this
just
is
love the
eventually
fact
going to
that
lead
we
up to
can
something,
bring
but my
great
God, these things are so
RPGs to
long
our
and drawn
platform.
out
I think we've
without
missed
any
that as a
purpose
first
to
party
them.
this generation.
Yeah, and
So we
again,
had the
I have to
opportunity
ask,
work within
we're
Exile
less
and
than a
bring
year
franchise
away
like
from the release of Halo
Wasteland
Infinite.
to our
Where's the
platform. Brian
gameplay
Fargo
of
and the
that?
team just doing
Hey, you
amazing
think this is
work,
going to end
and
up
seeing
like
the
Gears
progress that we had,
5?
we said, you know, what a great way to
Well,
finish this
probably
show.
at this point.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And a
God
huge
forbid they
thank
try
you
and
goes
replace
to you
Master
for
Chief with
everything
another.
that we've got
Oh,
Already
wait, they
tried
already
Halo 5,
tried
Joe.
that.
I'm confident they're not gonna do it
No,
again.
they've already confirmed, Joe, that Master Chief is going to be the protagonist. That's not the issue. The issue is the main concern Xbox community has with Halo Infinite, Joe, is that they're going to turn it as a game as a service, Destiny style.
Oh God, if they do that, there will be blood in the streets if they do that to Halo.
Remember, Joe, but they already filled Gears 5 chock full of fucking microtransactions where you have to pay $5 for a battle animation. For winning animation, sorry.
Oh, Wasteland 3.
Wasteland 3 is completely standalone. In
Isn't
the
that like
previous
more like a
Wasteland,
PC thing?
you were
Wasteland has
I don't remember that.
Wasteland's been a series that's gone for a while. There's been also a huge gap between the first game and the second.
I didn't even know who owns it, actually.
Well, he'll explain in a bit.
It's an Exile Tale. It's a studio that was bought by Microsoft, so technically Microsoft owns Wasteland.
Wait, he'll explain.
Rippling effects throughout the entire world that affects the storyline and how people respond to you throughout the world.
Yeah, now there is a very long and deep history
Never heard of
the
that kind
Wasteland
of gameplay
franchise.
before.
Tell us of the journey to Wasteland 3.
The journey's pretty fantastic.
It's about the journey, not the destination.
To make a very dark,
well, that would be fine.
If it wasn't redundant.
Realistically tough choices. All the way back in 1988, it was a big success. But then we weren't able to do a sequel. So we took everything we learned from Wasteland and we made a little game called Fallout. And we did Fallout 1 and we did Fallout 2.
Yeah, I remember these are Obsidian.
And then Bethesda got
Obsidian,
involved.
my bad.
I was dying to do a Wasteland 2. We went out to our fans via Kickstarter.
Whatever, the original developers, yeah.
It took 2 decades before they were able to do Wasteland 2.
Wanted to see the game. That was a success. And then we started number 3 about 3 years ago. Wanted to make
Remember, the Fallout series going to Bethesda is the reason Interplay didn't sold the rights to Earthborn Jim to any bidder, because they are afraid now that they can potentially lose another Golden Goose. Too bad they were doing almost nothing with it, and David Perry had to beg to their knees to do something with that on the Intellivision Amico.
Well, actually, that was Tommy who did that. Remember, Tommy's the owner of Intellivision.
I was talking more in a group effect, you know, the David Perry still is the leader of the team, isn't he?
He is, but Tommy is the producer of the game this time.
I think what Tio means is like, well, they sort of had to beg for them.
Well, the point being the point being it was just a trivia about Fallout and his devs. That's
Don't get me wrong, Wasteland 3 is nice, but can we actually see the game rather than just being told about it?
And X019 here in London. Thank you so much for watching today.
Yeah, they're gonna show it.
Remember,
Good.
X019 is just getting started.
Oh, but a bit odd that they're saying goodbye before they show the trailer.
Also,
well, it's kind of like in Nintendo where they do goodbye, but before we go, one more thing.
Are they seriously going to end on Wasteland 3 of all things for an Xbox conference?
At least end on Halo Infinite. At least that, please.
Well, Wasteland's
Oh
been
my
going
God.
on. Well, Wasteland's been going on for decades, so.
What's wrong, Joe?
No, I'll talk about it on my final thoughts.
What is this?
Apparently, this is.
There you go, Java. There's Wasteland. There you go. Your prayers have been answered, Java, I guess.
What prayers? I'm not necessarily a big Wasteland fan. I just said it's nice and all, but...
Well, I was mostly joking, but that's okay.
Our world.
I'm just so frustrated right now, sorry.
Is it third-party Evil Wasteland or those Xbox Studios? Is
No. Again, Teo, Microsoft bought In Exile, so they own everything in Exile now.
Equality and freedom all died when the bombs
It's one of the many studios that they bought.
and we've been walking on their ashes ever since. Especially here in
I thought it
Colorado.
was Tommy Lee Jones for a second.
The 3 children of our patriarch are even
All
more
made of
ruthless than
missiles. Cute.
And the American flag.
Welcome to Colorado. Enjoy your stay.
Edgy and all that.
wasn't always like this.
Land of confusion indeed.
Over 100 years ago, everything was different. I believe we can get back there if we fight this oppression. If we are fearless against the evils of the world, we can be everything
we can do anything together.
Is that a statue of fucking Ronald Reagan? Also make a scorpion.
Winner, Best RPG, Gamescom Award 2019.
So what a Dark Lord.
Story-driven co-op. Unless just affairs is involved, I'm not interested.
Strategic combat.
It's generic buzzwords.
This land is your land.
Seriously? That's your tagline? This land is your land?
This land is my land.
Is that supposed to be based on a song?
Oh,
Deep
Deep
Silver is the
Silver.
problem. Great, the people. So I guess the PC version is gonna be Epic Game Store exclusive, isn't it?
I guess the main marketing guy in Exile is the same guy who named that thing.
Yay, more Fortnite.
Time for another. Oh wait, no, they're seriously doing this.
Oh my god!
Why
so
are they
fun.
doing the same commercial again?
But Pedro, taste my epic fat dab. Yeah, I will say this. At the very least, Phil Spencer did not dab on live. At least there's that.
Okay, why are they doing the same commercial over again? Like,
because Jova, you need to play Fortnite and pay for them. Remember, the Chinese government needs your money.
is this how we? Oh my god! And that's how we end the stream with with Fortnite.
It's a bit of a weird ending. You say, "Oh, we're gonna end with Wasteland," but then you end with Fortnite.
I find it interesting how apparently the main marketing guy in Exile apparently is probably the same guy who named that 80s toy bubble thing. Like seriously, your land is your land. What kind of tagline is that?
I was about to ask you, Joe, is it based on an American folklore song or something?
Yeah, it seems to be. This land is your land.
The only tagline I can think of that would be more generic is "This is a video game."
I mean, yeah, I mean, like Tia said, it doesn't seem to be based off of an American folk
Actually,
song.
no, Java, you're the American. I was asking you if you know about that.
Yes, I do know a song with those lyrics.
Wasteland's been going on for 30 years, so...
I guess this game is aimed at Americans then. I don't know.
So why not show it off in London?
I don't understand. Just
fact,
go on with your final thoughts.
Before I give my final thoughts, just let me check Wasteland 3's Wikipedia page. It's on PS4, Windows.
Oh, so it's a multi-plat.
Well, again, Deep Silver is the publisher, so...
okay.
Yeah, it's probably one of those things where they just advertise it in one place, even though... Xbox did acquire Exile, but Deep Silver is still the publisher.
So like, by proxy is THQ Nordic then.
So I'm guessing they have to wait till Deep Silver's publishing rights run out, and then Microsoft will get the rights by default, most likely.
Maybe, yeah. But anyway, my final thoughts. I could definitely say that this was a gaming stream. It was a stream that showed games. I'll give him credit.
And Banjo Cena popped up. Are you sure about that?
I'll give him credit in that there was a lot of them. So it's not like we can complain that there wasn't enough games shown.
True this. Now let me ask you one question. How many of the games that they've shown do you actually remember right now?
Or don't already own, because a lot of them were ports.
Flight Simulator.
Okay.
Okay, that's one more.
Fortnite.
I thought you don't already own that?
No.
Why should we own them?
Well, yeah, that's fair. 2.
Yeah, 2 games. Probably 1.5 more than Pedro can remember.
Well, actually, I can remember more than that, but sure, I understand your point. Go ahead.
So yeah, and again, Flight Simulator looks good, even though I'll probably just play it on my PC because I mean it's been a PC series since it started all the way back in the early '80s.
Oh, just reminded me Dwebs, tell me why. Since you're into Life is Strange, are you planning on trying out Tell Me Why?
Why should I tell you?
I guess, yeah. Weird title. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know about that one. So yeah, overall, the most I can say is what I just said earlier. It was a gaming stream. I mean,
Exactly.
it's not the worst thing I can say about. It's not the worst thing I can say about a gaming stream. I mean, the worst I can say is a bad one. In this,
Sure.
I don't think it was really. It was just.
Sure.
It was just kind of there, and it does kind of give me some thanks to Sony and Nintendo that they go with the structures they do for announcing games, where they trim out all the fat about talking presenters with no charisma.
Oh, trust me, Dwebs. Believe it or not, Dwebs, the hosts of this inside Xbox, these were the good ones. Trust me. If you'd seen the Xbox inside Xboxes before this one, trust me, it's amazingly cringe. That guy with the glasses, that British guy, right?
Yeah.
In the Gamescom, he was in the Gamescom one as well, and he was all like, "It's gonna be lit."
I guess someone at Microsoft told him not to do that.
Please don't do the lit thing, please.
We're already behind the time. We're already behind the times as it is. You don't need to make it more obvious.
Go ahead.
So yeah, that's the thing for me. The most I'm excited about is a game that's in a series that's older than any
It was a
of
thing.
us.
It was a thing that happened.
Yeah. I'd also just say that the game I'm most excited about is a game from a series that's older than any of us. Plus it's been PC for forever anyway, so I'll just get it there.
Exactly.
So it probably seems more better to PC because you have more buttons and on your keyboard, and plus you can use the joystick. Something that's meant for the complicated controls of an airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's me done now. I have to leave the call now, so goodbye.
Jova.
Well, I gotta say, the best thing about this is that there's a lot of thumbnail potential for our thumbnail for this one. I mean, seriously, the photo there of London actually looks pretty cool with the green background there, the strobing lights into the sky, the look of Big Ben, and what looks to be a missile over there over London. Looks good, don't you think, Tio?
Why you ask me?
Jova, when you're citing that as the highlight, there's a problem, isn't there?
Okay, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Nintendo Directs, they're awesome. State of Plays, they're in a weird phase. I wouldn't call them awesome, but at the very least, they feel like they know what they want to be at this point. Apparently, this Inside Xbox was better than the norm, because from what I've heard, usually the norm is like, well, they have one or two things that they then drone on for like an hour about. Is that the case, Pedro?
Yeah, and not to mention Jova, and I've shown this, and for the record audience, I showed this to Theo and Jova in privately. So that's it. And again, they have this amazingly cringy host with terrible jokes. Like for example, I love the one that they did at Gamescom. Do you want a taco or the ultimate taco?
I'd ask if that somehow made more sense in context, but I'm guessing it didn't.
Believe it or not, everybody, if you thought the hosts of this were boring, trust me, these are the good ones.
Alright, let's talk about the actual stream itself. Okay, Everwild looks like it could be an interesting game. We saw screenshots and tiny little snippets here. The problem is that we didn't get enough to know what it's about. Like, I'll just say it, I get the process. Show off a game as a teaser first, before people actually know what it is. Here's the problem, though. While I feel that tactic may work for, like, a movie or something teaser-wise, am I the one who feels like maybe if you're gonna debut a game, actually just show us a substantial amount enough? Like, look at stuff like Mario Odyssey. The first time we saw that, sure, we didn't see the capturing mechanic, but we at least saw enough to get that, oh, this is going to be the successor to Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine here and there. Like, that's the kind of debut I would like. Everwild, I don't feel like I know enough, and I get it, that's the point. But otherwise, I feel like we don't really know that much except that it exists. Like, if you're not going to tell us what kind of game it is, why bother?
Sometimes it can work fine, because Breath of the Wild was revealed with a teaser trailer of just Link and Epona riding off into the distance. So technically...
The difference is that Breath of the Wild was part of, a long-running series. Like, well, this is...
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is, like, a brand new IP thing.
Oh, yeah.
And as we know,
I
Microsoft...
remember how the teaser for Horizon was.
That. I mean, even the teaser for Horizon, I feel, was better than this.
That's why I asked. I don't remember how it was.
If I recall correctly, the first time we saw that was at E3 2015. And the first time we saw that game, we saw some gameplay footage here and there. So, yeah, I mean, maybe we saw some snippets here of Everwild, but I don't feel like it was enough.
Well, the teaser of you can tell that Everwild's teaser is showing in-game footage. It's not a pre-rendered teaser. You can tell it that.
Oh yeah, sure. It's showing in-game footage, but it's not showing what I like to consider gameplay that actually lets me know what kind of game it's in for.
Yeah. Also, where's Bambi Simulator? Remember, that was like one of the few things people remember from their E3. Go ahead.
Grounded looks like it'll be a fine game, but it seems so generic. It's basically a combination of Amply, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and your typical first-person survival MMO. By the looks of it, it looks like you'll be able to play with other players, but again, it doesn't really look like something I care for. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. That had a very bonkers trailer. Talk about some weird advertising. That said, I've seen Fallen Order, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty good Star Wars game.
Yeah.
You wanted to say something, Pedro?
Well, actually, no, go ahead. I'll say it later.
Sea of Thieves is back on the rise, and I'm of two minds with Sea of Thieves. On the one hand, I'm glad to see that game is finally going to start giving players, the experience that they wanted. However, I don't want Microsoft thinking that they can get away with this tactic of making a game partially upon release, only to then make it better later on. Yes, good for you, you managed to do it better. But for every Final Fantasy XIV of Realm Reborn, there's always going to be some scummy one that thinks that they can get away with this here and there. Final Fantasy XIV of Realm Reborn feels like a genuine effort, whereas with here, it feels like, oh, it was always part of the plan. I'm not going to assume that that's what the case was, but holy cow, it really just leaves a bit of a poor taste in my mouth that we had to wait this long for them to actually make it better. Again, just delay the game so it could have come out full-fledged.
It's also kind of a different case, though, because Realm Reborn was the Realm Reborn is the new version of 14 that was rebuilt from the ground up. It's not even a case of where they added more content into the original Final Fantasy 14. They just scrapped the original and rebuilt a new one with a new team.
Yeah.
Story-wise, it's still technically continuation.
Apparently, story-wise, they literally destroy the original world of 14.
Only part of it. Again, it's a bit too long to explain, but the first game is still canonical and as a thing that happened. The only reason why they scrapped it entirely was because of the engine and the performance issues. Otherwise, A Realm Reborn would have been just an expansion with bug fixes.
Okay, yeah, but back to Sea of Thieves. Again, I'm glad to see it maybe getting better here and there, but man, oh man, I just take the path that it took to get here, and it may come off as a bit of too little too late. I wish I could be positive about it. It was a game I was very excited for, but now I don't even know if I want to bother buying it because, well, for one thing, I'll wait to hear if it's actually a good edition, and for another thing, I'm not exactly in the mood for supporting Microsoft. Speaking of supporting Microsoft, how about that Bleeding Edge, guys?
Not just that, but like I've said, Rare is no longer a name that is trustworthy when it comes to quality games. They've completely, they're a shell of their former selves.
Hey, speaking of Rare, how come they didn't show us any more of Battletoads aside from that small snippet?
That's not them doing it.
Well, they're sort of kind of involved, but they're not the head studio behind it.
They're supervising it too. The thing is, that's the thing, Jova. Like ever since Battletoads was shown off at Gamescom, it's received a lot of flack.
Oh well, heck yeah, for a lot of reasons.
A lot of people were actually expecting a Battletoads game that had a kind of okay. In case you don't know, one of the Battletoads was on the new Killer Instinct game. And basically everybody, I'm in touch with the Xbox community, so I know this. A lot of Xbox fans were expecting the new Battletoads game to be more akin to Killer Instinct in terms of style and look, you know. So the whole Streets of Rage 4 didn't really gel much, and not to mention, even on its own merits, the game has very, very slow gameplay. It looks really slow.
Not just that, it looks very cheap on the side. It looks like it's made with Flash.
Yeah, not only that, I've seen the new character designs, and I'm not exactly fond of them.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the main villainess. Ugh.
You were saying something about Bleeding Edge?
Yeah, Bleeding Edge, I get the idea behind that game. However, I've got a bad feeling it's going to fall to Ninja Fury's usual stigma of basic gameplay. Once you've learned it, you pretty much have mastered, and there's no real need for improvement, and thus leads to a rather mundane gameplay style. Add to that it looks like a knockoff of Overwatch, and not the most intuitive of ways.
Well, considering Jova the situation Blizzard in at the moment, I guess Microsoft is having the best timing ever.
I guess. Oh boy. I mean, I'm not saying I want Bleeding Edge to fail. I'm just saying I don't know if Bleeding Edge really has the gumption it can to stick with the big boys.
The problem with Bleeding Edge is that it's so blatantly clear that Bleeding Edge is not a game with a vision or something like that. It's a game that was made specifically because Overwatch is popular. Nothing else to it.
Yeah.
Now what matters is that they'll do something with it, but given Ninja Fury's track record, I'm not getting my hopes up high. Speaking of not getting my hopes up high, okay, Minecraft Dungeons. Yes, dear Lord, yes, we know that Minecraft is a thing, but of all the things that they spend a lot of time on, they dedicate so much time to Minecraft Dungeons. Like, this is again
especially after the original creator of the game, I keep forgetting his name.
Is it Bojangle or something? I forget.
Mojang, I think.
No, Mojang is the name of the company. I'm talking about the person. The company is owned by Microsoft now, and that's why they're making Minecraft. I don't know. But the original creator, the original person, now has been kicked out by the company, and he's been unpersoned because he said something that was not cool with the company on Twitter. So I'm gonna check the story in the meantime, but go on, Jova.
Like, okay, you know how I said how stuff like Everwild should have gotten more gameplay presentation to it? Microsoft Dungeons feels like the opposite problem. Like, it's a game that we pretty much know how it's going to go, yet they dedicate so much time to it. Like, seriously, guys. Again, I think my biggest problem with this stream is the messed up priorities. So, you can't spare time for Halo Infinite, you can't spare time for Battletoads, but all this time for Microsoft Dungeons? Oh no, pile that crap on! I get it, Minecraft is popular, but even with something that's popular, don't you think that would mean that people need less time spent on it to know what they're getting into? Like, I'm pretty sure that people who are into Minecraft Dungeons pretty much know what they're getting into. Speaking of wasting time here, the absolute low point of this entire stream was every time they brought up Project X Cloud. By God, I am sick of Project X Cloud, and the thing's not even out yet, with how much they're trying to hammer it into us, because let's look at the facts here, folks. Just because you stream something doesn't mean it's really that good a ways of playing it anywhere here and there. Let's not forget, you still have to have either a good PC or some sort of console to hook up the streaming service to, and there's probably going to be issues with connection here and there. So, yeah, as ideal as they may make it look, I get the feeling it won't be that ideal. Heck, there's a reason why Google Stadia has been getting absolutely slammed in media as much as it has. It's a pretty dumb idea for the time we live in. but they seem so dedicated to it that, if anything, you'd almost think that Project X Cloud is their new console, rather than their actual Xbox Scarlet, whatever that's gonna be. It was an absolute drag to listen to. Oh, speaking of absolute drags, just wanted to remind you that NFL is a thing. Like, I get reminding us that
Again,
NFL
if this was a licensed game based on the NFL Super Pro, I guess it would be a bit more interesting. As in case you don't know, Marvel officially has created a character that is an NFL player, and it's actually canon. It's not just a licensed product that they lost like Ron Space. No, we still own him. But go on, Jova.
Paris the thought, though. We can't have anything that interesting. So yeah, EA, that's a thing too. Well, like I said, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order of Xbox, that'll be fine probably. Let's talk about the ports now, because, oh boy, there are a lot of ports. Now, yeah, people complain a lot about the abundance of ports with stuff like Nintendo Switch and, heck, even PS4. But here's the thing. More often than not, those ports have been long since asked for, like, big time, and a lot of other times, they are ports that are to, help bring a game that not many people got to play because they didn't really buy the previous console on the more successful console, especially in the Nintendo Switch's case. And those ports often come with enhancements here and there. When it comes to ports with here, it's not really they add any new content, it's just, hey, we finally brought this over here, and a lot of this is done at the expense of exclusivity here or there, which sort of takes away from either exclusivity for Xbox or PC. Now, PC doesn't have to worry about that as much, but with Xbox, whenever they port something from Xbox to PC, there's a less reason to buy an Xbox. I mean, it's not the worst thing, and hey, stuff like Yakuza and Kingdom Hearts coming to Xbox fans, that's fine. Although, here's sort of the problem here. At this point in time, a lot of owners of Xbox Ones kind of jumped ship to Sony or Nintendo, so, yeah, kind of awkward, ain't it, Pedro?
One thing they didn't show is, remember, Xbox is having supposedly the exclusivity initial deal for the Western release of Phantasy Star Online 2.
Yeah, why didn't they touch back up on that?
Hopefully Sega is remembering this time around that we're supposed to be localizing it.
Yeah, like, that's another thing. Why didn't they bring that up again? Like, that was definitely a big crowd pleaser and something that Xbox can actually brag about. Even if it's probably going to be only semi-limited, as in...
No, they already said that it's temporarily. But to be honest, this is one case where Xbox has the initial release exclusivity deal. Similar with Rise of the Tomb Raider, and unlike in that case, they're not actually advertising it as if it's supposed to be a full-on exclusive.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like, well, again with the messed up priorities, why aren't they pumping up a lot of their strengths that they got? Even if it's timed exclusivity, advertise that still. Like, it feels like they're wasting times on stuff that doesn't need as much advertising as much as other stuff could use. And this thing's, yeah, the indies, yeah, they're fine and all. And then they ended on Wasteland 3, which felt like a weird thing to end on. It's not exclusive to Microsoft by any means. And funnily enough, they didn't even technically end it on that. They just ended on Fortnite. So at the end of the day, it was an okay stream. Here's the thing though. The reason it's okay is because it has a lot of announcements. The problem is that it's quantity over... Oh! I almost forgot about Crossfire X. Freemium game made by Remedy... Who are the other two studios involved? I forget.
Something like, I think Silicon something.
I mean, of all the things to get...
Wasn't it like Smilegate? One of them
Smilegate.
Of all the things to get a collaboration between some renowned devs for, you make a freemium...
I mean, from the interviews, if I remember correctly, Remedy is handling the physics engine for the gunplay, and Max Payne proved that they are master at doing that. So I can see the thought process behind it. It doesn't require the entire team to do so for them, but it's something they excels at. So for this kind of contract, I can see something like this happening.
Oh, it's definitely a nice-looking game. My only issue is that it's a freemium game, and you know how freemium games tend to turn out.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it has something that makes it stand out like the others.
Yeah, it's like... And premium games usually have that lacking in quality thanks to other priorities set elsewhere. But if you play premium games, you probably already know the song and dance there. But yeah, the stream in general feels like something that has messed up priorities. There are some good announcements here, but there's nothing that makes you want to buy an Xbox One, which, spoilers, is what this sort of stream is meant to be for.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was an interesting show, though I'll admit I'm kind of more perturbed than I am happy. Next.
Damn.
I'd rather be the last, just so we can end on a more lighter note.
Sure, I guess.
Pedro, then.
All right. Okay. Let me start with talking about the highlights, just so I'm not entirely negative on the whole thing. The highlight, the best thing that was shown in this thing was definitely Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It looks great. It looks like a great game, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing it. That's a multi-plat though, and like Jova would say, we already knew about this game. So, yeah. What else? Tell me why. Seems like it's going to be the typical stuff that Dontnod has been making in recent
Shoot, I
years.
forgot about that game too, but yeah, I don't really care for it.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the exact same thing as Life is Strange. It's just with a new story and new characters. I mean, it's most likely going to be that. It looks like it's clearly using the same engine, the same graphics
Yeah,
engine.
just like that other spin-off, the one with that kid playing a superhero thing.
That was functioning as a prequel to Life is Strange 2, though.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, sure, I'm sure that'll be fine. I'm not into Dontnod, but sure, I can understand the value there. Like, it's fine. It will probably be fine. It's not my cup of tea, but whatever. It looks like it's fine for what it is. I kind of wish Microsoft would, at the very least, since they're the ones publishing and funding the game, I kind of wish they would have given them a bigger budget so they can, make something a bit more ambitious than just a Life is Strange with a new story. But whatever. I guess they didn't want to bother. What else? Highlights. I guess if I have to pick something, the Yakuza series and the Kingdom Hearts series are finally coming to Xbox, especially considering how Kingdom Hearts 3 is on the Xbox One. Finally, Xbox fans have a proper chance of playing the entire series. So there's that. Yakuza is also coming, and that's cool. I've already got those games on PS4 though, so I won't be needing that. Highlights. Trying my best, guys. Hold on. I guess I should give credit that the hosts were not cringy. There were no bad jokes in this one, so that's a big improvement over the inside Xboxes that we've had over the course of this year before. There's that. Okay,
I think the stream is something that would probably be more fun if we were actually there, because we know we'd have the games to play on the show floor.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, everybody. I've run out of positives to say. Okay, look, everybody. Okay, I get it. It's okay. There's nothing. They didn't technically show nothing bad per se. Like, everything here that they've shown, like, Grounded looks fine. Everwild, well, I need to see, like Jova said, I need to see more of Everwild to make a proper assessment. And combined with the fact that I don't trust Rare anymore, yeah, that game has a lot to do to convince me. So, yeah. But yeah, Grounded looks fine for what it is. It's not my cup of tea, but I guess it looks fine. And that's the primary thing with most of the games, if not all of the games that were shown here. They're either fine but not my cup of tea, or they're just like something that I've played a million times and it doesn't look like the games are doing anything interesting to put on the formula that makes it worthwhile. And that's the big issue with that. Like, a lot of people, like some people, some apologists for this kind of stuff like to say fun is fun, #fun, and all that stuff. Yes, of course. Games are above all else supposed to be fun. That should go without saying. Here's the thing, though. I like having fun in games, but you know what I also like in games? I like being blown away. I like immersing myself in an amazing game that takes me on a journey that I will remember for a long time. Games like Super Mario Odyssey, games like, well, I don't particularly care for that game, but most people do, so I'll use Breath of the Wild as an example as well. Xenoblade Chronicles too, like the amazing games that obviously not every game needs to be a God of War tier masterpiece. I'm not saying they do. You can have your smaller games, but you need to also have something amazing to really, really grab people's attention. Nintendo has Luigi's Mansion. Nintendo has
Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Smash Bros. Ultimate. Sony has God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted, all that stuff. Microsoft really needs to get some big bangers, something that really grabs your attention.
That's the thing, Pedro. They have something that's supposed to be their big banger, Halo Infinite, but they don't show much about it. Hell, Gears of War was supposed to be one of their big bangers, but we saw what happened to that.
That's exactly the thing. Gears 5 was supposed to be one of their big games this year, and they only showed footage of the fucking campaign a month away from release.
Hell, Crackdown 3 was supposed to be a big release. We saw how that ended up.
That's the thing, Joe, but that game changed developers over the course. That game was basically Microsoft's Duke Nukem Forever. It changed developers multiple times, forgot the development. It was a mess, let's just say.
I think it's just an example of one of the problems of Microsoft. Even when they have what's supposed to be one of their big projects practically gift wrapped for them, something goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And now they finally, and I'm amazed that they managed to actually still get a collaboration with Remedy after, the goodwill that they pissed away with Quantum Break, but they having Remedy work on a freemium game, not, the next big thing.
And only partially, Joe, not even entirely.
To give an example, Kart Rider Drift.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Jesus, I forgot about so many things this one.
Jova, allow me to say this. The fact that you've forgotten to mention a lot of things, that should tell you that there's a problem here.
Yeah, I mean, usually I'm pretty good at remembering all this stuff, but this...
More like you forgot to have the Gematsu page on hand. Usually you do that before your conferences, just like I do.
I don't always do that, but that's probably a good tip. I should probably do that next time. But I think in this point, it goes to show how not really memorable a lot of this stuff was. Like, usually, at least I can remember more stuff in this, but here it feels like I forgot half the thing. Sorry, Pedro, you were saying?
Sorry. No. Finish what you were saying, might as well.
I mean, it's like, normally I don't have this much trouble remembering stuff with or without a Gematsu page. I won't deny that sometimes I do use one, but usually that's like a thing that's long enough to forget stuff here. And while this was lengthy, it didn't feel, as big as our E3 stuff usually goes, depending on the company.
Okay. Again, it's either, like I've said, when it comes to all these indie-like games, it's either stuff that looks fine, but it's not my cup of tea, or stuff that is my cup of tea, but it doesn't look like it's doing anything to separate itself from other games of itself. Kart Rider Drift being the perfect example of this. Kart Rider Drift looks like it looks fine. It looks like a fine kart racing game. But two questions. One, where are the gimmicks? Because isn't one of the cool things about these games the items that we get that do all these cool things?
Yeah, if you want a racer without gimmicks, that's usually, something like Forza or Gran Turismo, not a kart racer.
Yeah, that would be fine, but this is a kart. Okay, there's maybe these developers thought, no gimmicks. Gimmicks are overrated. But here's the thing, though. You took away one of the most iconic aspects of this genre, or subgenre if you prefer, and you didn't really add anything to compensate for it. It just looks like a generic kart racing game that doesn't do anything to separate itself from Mario Kart. Let's think about this. Okay, Kart Racing Drift. What do? Do I buy Kart Rider Drift, or do I wait for Mario Kart 9?
Actually, Actually, apparently there are items. What they show, I'm checking here the article. Apparently, what they showcased on screen was the speed mode, basically a separate mode specifically where it's no item. It's kind of like the no items on Destination Fox only thing for Smash.
Okay then.
Weird thing to advertise, but okay then.
Sure. Okay then. In that case, I retract my previous statement. Still though, you're still doing nothing to separate this kart racing game from other kart racing games. And while it is true that games like Crash Team Racing and Team Sonic Racing are technically aping the Mario Kart style as well, technically all of them are, let's face it. Mario Kart was the first one of them after all.
Actually, Team Sonic Racing does things quite differently from Mario Kart, but if we want to be technical, I guess you could say that the idea stemmed from this. Although when it comes to having an adventure mode in car racing, that actually stemmed from Diddy Kong Racing.
Okay, let me go with that then. Let me mention All Stars Racing Transform, which is my personal favorite of the Sonic ones.
Sure.
Transformed separated itself by having a lot of great Sega fan service and a lot of cool items based on said fan service. It was a kart racing game for Sega fans.
Oh, and vehicle transformations too, which
yeah,
Mario Kart wasn't doing yet until Mario Kart 8.
The Crash Team Racing remake, is exactly a remake of a beloved old game, and it's a Crash game for a lot of Crash fans, and it has a shit ton of characters by this point.
Oh yeah, 44.
Yeah. This game, on the other hand, it doesn't have the legacy of Mario Kart. It doesn't have the fan service of a Sega one. It doesn't have the nostalgia value of a Crash one. It's a completely new thing of itself. So what can this game offer me that those other three cannot? Why should I bother? Why should I not just wait for Mario Kart 9?
And even if it does manage it, the presentation they gave did not do that game any favors.
This is my big problem. They showed a lot of stuff, but none of it sticks. It's just very typical Game Pass filler, as I've heard some people on Twitter call it. Game Pass filler. It's there to put on Game Pass so you can keep that content of Game Pass from. This is the Netflix approach. Let's just try our best to throw as much content as we can so we can fill out cost.
It does feel like that.
Yes. Can you guys still hear me, by the way?
Yeah.
Yes.
What else? What else did they show? You know what? I don't even remember. I'm just gonna speed through this. Why didn't they show Halo Infinite? Where's Halo Infinite? I'm not a Halo
Have some
fan.
Halo Reach instead.
Oh, that's the thing. Halo Reach is about to be added. The date hasn't been realized yet. More like the question would be, why didn't you show it on VP other than Halo Reach?
Where is Halo Infinite? I'm not even a Halo fan, and even I'm begging for you to show it. That should tell you something. Just show me something. And Halo Infinite is being made by 343 Industries, the company that here's a cool thing too. Now that I'm in tune with the community, you know what 343 Industries is known as in the Xbox community?
The people who ruined the Halo.
A cover band for Bungie.
Oh,
that's a better statement than the ones I heard.
Yeah. Jova, you're a musician. Why don't you elucidate this on the usual reputation a cover band has?
Cover band tend to be seen as like the sideshow, like the poor man's filler for a band of sorts. Yeah. So yeah, needless to say, people aren't too fond of free 4 games like. Oh boy.
343 Industries.
Here's the thing. Halo is supposed to be the equivalent of what Mario is for Nintendo. Like Master Chief is meant to be the big mascot of them. Yet it feels like they treat the series so lifelessly these days.
Mm-hmm. Again, I guess they're still recovering from the backlash of Halo 5.
Yeah.
God, you'd think they would have gotten over it by now, but yep.
Regardless. They didn't show Halo Infinite, which is their next big AAA release. And it boggles my mind. Is that game... Okay, and allow me to remind everyone, for those who have not been following the Halo Infinite had its creative director leave the company in recent months. There was also another producer that left. There was also a graphics artist that left. So the game has been having staff losses over the course of this year. So maybe that game as development is in trouble because it really puts you in question. Like, considering the news that we know, combined with the fact that they refuse to show any gameplay of this thing, it doesn't bode well. I mean, for all we know, maybe it is fine, but well, we don't have any evidence that it's fine. So the only things we have is that people are leaving for free, and that's usually a bad sign. So yeah.
Well, it'll make for a great episode of What Happened.
Yeah, I guess. that reminds me, has he made a one on Halo 5?
No, not yet, but he did make one based off of Andromeda recently.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm hoping he makes one on 5.
I won't be surprised if he does. It's definitely a requested topic.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. Okay, again, they just show so much stuff, and all of it is just stuff that is just like, it feels so derivative. It feels like cookie cutter games that don't really attract you because it's literally a poor man's gaming show. They don't try to impress you, and that's the big problem. It's like they don't care. It's like they don't want to impress us and make us jump onto their brand and invest in their brand.
It feels like they're settling.
They're settling. Yeah, this is exactly it. They're settling for mediocrity. And I don't want to do that, because if no one voices that this is a problem, then it's the same thing as saying that this is okay, and I don't find this to be okay.
I mean, a lot of their fans have jumped ship onto Sony and Nintendo. You'd think they'd have gotten the hint.
We need any entertainment industry needs competition. We need us gamers benefit the best when all three companies are performing at their best, competing against each other, competing for our money.
Mm-hmm.
And Microsoft is not really doing that. They're not trying to compete with. They're not even trying to compete with Nintendo, much less Sony.
Yeah, it used to be that Microsoft were like the big competitors going up against Sony, and nobody paid mind to Nintendo. But now it's kind of gone the opposite, where people pay more mind to Nintendo and Sony than they do Microsoft.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where, like, Microsoft, compete. You're a $1 trillion company. You have plenty of money. Why can't you? So if Sony was able to make a deal with Marvel to make a Spider-Man game, why can't you make a deal with Marvel and make, I don't know, an Iron Man game, a Thor game, something cool, something that sparks our interest? Just do something amazing. Again, yes, hashtag fun. I get it. Games, as long as the game is fun, it's good. But I need more than that sometimes. You know, I want to be impressed. I want to be blown away sometimes, and that's something that I'm not getting. I'm tired of just settling for mediocrity. I'm tired. It's fine. Yes, it's fine. But sorry, everybody, but fine is not. Sorry, Microsoft, but fine is not good enough anymore. It's not. I don't want to play fine games. I want to play great games. And I'm tired of you showing me nothing but mediocrity. I'm tired. It's just so frustrating to me. And I want Microsoft to actually fucking compete, because it's bad for us. This is you see everybody, for those of you out there who don't understand this, we need Microsoft to be competitive and give Sony and Nintendo a run for their money. Because if they don't, then Sony and Nintendo get less reasons to be competitive, which means we'll get less great games than we're getting right now, and that's not a good thing, regardless of where you're coming from. And so this is a bad thing. This is bad for us. This is not bad just for Xbox. It's bad for all of us. And this is the big problem. And Microsoft is just settling, like Jova said. They're just settling for mediocrity, and I don't want to tolerate that. I don't. So it's just that E3 of 2020. Remember, it's the last E3 before Scarlet releases. That E3 2020 better be fucking amazing. Like the most amazing conference ever made. Because, goddamn, like, we've had 5 years of mediocrity. It's time for fans to just say no. Do not be sorry, Microsoft. Be better. That's a God of War reference for those who don't.
And when it comes to fans saying no, Pedro, like you yourself have mentioned, a lot of them have jumped ship. So,
well, that's the thing, Jova. A few months ago, Phil Spencer said on Twitter, "Yeah, our first party lineup hasn't been the best recently, and we apologize for that."
they acknowledged how cute.
Basically, doing better. And
you'd rather having doing nothing.
No.
I asked Jova, not you.
Okay.
Oh, me?
You'd rather have Phil Spencer say nothing?
Oh, no. I'm fine with that. I'm just saying it's like, well, I mean, sure, I mean, it's nice that they're acknowledging it, but acknowledging and doing are different things. I want to see them acknowledge and get better. Both.
Exactly. We have a saying here in my country, too, that apologies should not be done. They should be avoided. As in, you should avoid even having to make the apology.
That's nice, but you still need an alternative when the inevitability happens.
This is why I think that, we should have both, It's nice that they apologize, but now let's see some action. Like, that is the thing that I feel that they've lacked.
Yeah, that's the issue. Okay, basically, everybody, after Phil Spencer tweeted that, or no, he didn't tweet, actually, he made an interview of that. Everybody on Twitter posted the animated GIF of Kratos saying to Atreus in God of War 4, "Do not be sorry, be better." So it's a cutscene from God of War that people love to use on Twitter a lot because it's just so great to use. Like, you need to be better, Microsoft. You need to be better because this is not good enough for me. It might be good enough for some, but not for me. I do not want to settle for mediocrity. I want greatness. I want not to mention. It's one of those things. Okay, be competitive. That's all I'm asking. Be competitive. I'm not asking you to beat Nintendo and Sony. Just try. I just want you to try. Not necessarily succeed. Just try. Can you do that for me, please? That's all I'm asking. And fans and Xbox fans to this day who still pay for Xbox Live and buy these things, they need to start talking with their wallet. This it has to be. They're the ones who are supposed to cater to us. It's not the other way around. We demand amazing games. They show amazing games. They don't show amazing games. We buy PlayStation and Nintendo to show them what we want. Speak with our wallets. That's how it's got to be. So yeah, Microsoft needs to hold that together. Stop shoving Stop shoving indie-like games in my face. Show me something great, something amazing, something that actually is going to something fantastic, just for once, because we've had 5 years of mediocrity. The it's a fun game. The level doesn't cut it anymore. Fun games don't cut it anymore. They need to be more than fun at this point because we've had 5 years of just games that are at best fun. We need something great, and we're not getting it, and I'm tired of it. So that's my 2 cents, I guess. Teo closes out.
Okay, this was fine, but in a sense of 60 out of 100. So basically the average could be better, but I guess could have been worse. Compared to the stuff that Microsoft is presenting in the previous months, I suppose even including E3 in that, but in general, this is the first of their equivalent of their directs, but even that is more of a conference than a direct style presentation.
Usually, this is clearly their PlayStation experience too, whereas the normal inside Xbox is just them in a stage.
True, but I'm going
studio,
to
sorry.
Their name. Though, again, it is the best one they produced, and like it was said, the presentators tried to avoid the cringiness, although there were still those couple of moments, like with Major Nelson, for example. Seriously, what happened with him? Whatever. But I mean, go with each announcement one by one. There you go. Everwild from Rare. It looks for what it is. The problem is that it's another hunting simulators. After Horizon Breath of the Wild, the genre is starting to get stale. So I don't know if it will get the audience that it tries to capture. The color palette looks nice, and the art style that they're using, but it needs definitely to show more for me to actually give a more proper opinion. Same goes for Grounded. The fact that Obsidian was released, preparing this before the acquisition of Microsoft, pretty much tells me that it's just being, pretty much tells that it's being relocated as a result. Though it is fine. The gameplay, like I said, the game in itself is redundant in terms of survival crafting and all that shit. The appealing is the Honey Shrunk the Kids setting, Again, need to see more on that one. West of Dead looks incredibly great. Whoa, Ron Perlman could have, had a bit more expression in his tone of voice. Though this is like a multiplayer that launches on, every single date, which I guess it's kind of a shame for Xbox, but for the game in itself, it looks fine. The Kart Rider Drift, not sure. I guess if it was more, like the game lacks of a mechanically it seems serviceable, but it lacks the identity that it needs to be. Kart racer these days are used more as celebration of a brand. So if Microsoft wanted to use this, or even with a chibi style, crossover with most of its major IPs and your Xbox avatars, well, I don't know if they're still using them anymore, the Xbox Live avatars, they would have been interesting enough, but this unfortunately looks generic. And from what I'm seeing on Steam, well, the Steam version seems to be published by Xbox Studios, so I wonder if it's just a third-party title anyway. Bleeding Edge, it's an Overwatch clone. I guess, again, considering Blizzard is in hot water right now, I guess it's here's hoping this one will succeed. I wish it was a bit more tryhard because I haven't seen it that much. So, who knows? Planet Coaster. It's a game that is best enjoyed on PC, unfortunately, but from what I've seen, this is just the advertisement for the console edition. So it's gonna be the problem is gonna be the clunkiness, not the fact that it is on a platform where it shouldn't be, or stuff like that. Tell me
Teo, if it helps, you can use mouse and keyboard with the Xbox if that helps.
Well, I suppose. Tell me why from Dontnod. Like I said, it needs to show its gimmick because, like I said, the Dontnod games so far had their own gimmick that may even stand out despite the similar presentations. But from what I check, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to try to stay for now away as much as possible because the game is already becoming a wasp nest for the themes that it's treating. So right now I'm going to just be on the side and see if the studio has the competence to pull out the things that they want to treat. Here's hoping, I suppose. Project xCloud, definitely the low point of the entire thing. The streaming fad doesn't seem to be ready to catch on yet. The lineup is just a tad better than one on Stadia, but that's not saying too much. So they dedicated just a huge portion of it. Jesus. I'm going to incorporate both the Yakuza and the Kingdom Hearts port. They're fine. There were things that people were actually demanding. That may be signifying, combined with what I mentioned before about Digital Online 2, that Microsoft maybe start to get his ass head out with the Japanese developers and start having more relationship with them in a decent kind of way, not in a sense of, just co-develop this for us and then we'll put you out like 70% of the way in. Drake Hollow, made by Blasphemous Blood. I haven't seen that much, honestly, so I cannot tell. Halo Reach release date, nice enough, but that would have been nice to accompany it with also another teaser for Halo Infinite, which, again, like Pedro said, considering also the layoffs, it does give the vibe of something that is having a troubled development cycle, and Microsoft is not ready to showcase yet. Though, to be honest, it's Halo. I'm not sure how much different they can make it from the standard formula at this point. So I don't know. Flight Simulator, it's exactly what it says on the tin, and it's a nice comeback from the past. I just wish there were more titles on that similar way, because, well, I will get to it in a second. Age of Empires 4 and Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition both look fantastic. Well, I still have qualms on the fact that Age of Empires 4 is going back to the medieval times instead of progressing through the timeline like people were hoping things will happen, but guess I shall see. Crossfire X, interesting for the way that they are combined developers, but it doesn't seem to have meat attached to its bone. Guess you will have to see again on that one as well. Last stop, Vaivan Napurna. A game based around the Freaky Friday mechanic. I don't think it has been made, at least properly yet so far, so it has an original idea on its own. But again, we will see. This it has the potential to be good, but also to be bad as a result. Minecraft Dungeons, don't care much about it, and Mojang has been on a downward spiral for the past years, especially Notch, that's what his name, especially considering what Notch had decided to say to be free on Twitter, so yeah. The Game Pass stuff. Okay, it's a nice feature if you already own the console. If I add it, I will certainly take advantage of it because I don't really mind about the whole physical versus digital debate. ID at Xbox, so the showcase of indie stuff as well. It's an obligatory segment. Every single stream of a company these days seems to have it, so I guess it was inevitable. Wasteland 3, don't care about much. Same for Rust, I forget to say it. I think that covers all. My main problem with all of this is unfortunately the usual double edge of the sword that is the games for everyone. If these new titles were still just exclusive for the Xbox One brand, at least you can say that the console has some powers, maybe not to the 100% potential that Halo Infinite supposedly can bring, but there is something. Unfortunately, these are the fact that they're ported, even not on Steam, but just on the Microsoft Store. Say what you want about the fact that it's not appealing and counterproductive, but the PC is essentially the gaming equivalent of Valhalla. Once a game reaches there, it's basically the last stop. One way or the other, it's going to be managed to eventually be emulated, and people will be managed to preserve it for the years to come. Which in itself is a good thing, but unfortunately it hurts the console brand of Xbox. And the other problem is that these other major titles are all supposed to be new IPs instead. But yeah, you have Microsoft Flight Simulator, that's nice. But have more, if you want to have these with a game with a minor budget behind them, go full and resurrect your old IPs like Voodoo Vince, Blinks the Time Sweeper, stuff like that. Not every game has to be, you're pumping up the graphics like there's no tomorrow, because otherwise you get in a situation like Sony, where yes, they have the quality, but unfortunately the quantity has been dwindling in the past couple of years, and that has led them to a terrible marketing spree with their state of play, and the fact that they've been canceling their conferences at E3 and on their own one after one after one. Yes, the game is eventually released, and yes, the game eventually still managed to sell, but the luck cannot run forever. The problem is that here you have the opposite side, the fact that most games instead are on the AA side, which in itself wouldn't be mind, but I feel safe. Diversity is fine. And if the idea of Microsoft competition is filling in what Sony is lacking at the moment, I guess, but I cannot picture it working it on the long run.
If you allow me to, it's not even gonna, even if it was working, like it's probably one for the most time, because recently Yoshida became the new head of third-party relations at Sony, and he's also going to be part of an initiative to have a more stronger relationship with indie developers to get a lot more indie stuff of this nature on the PlayStation 4 as well.
Well, that's about the indies. I'm talking about the AA stuff. Like, for example, recently Sony had Concrete Genie, which may be counted AA, but it's certainly not. It's not an indie. because otherwise we would have to include stuff like Folklore on the PS3 as an indie, which is clearly not.
It's not to mention, Jim Ryan did say specifically that
again, most problems of Sony probably were tied to the key people like Andrew House and Sean Layden, which now are gone and replaced by people who seem to actually be more enthusiastic in restructuring by still having the model they have, but also filling in what they lack. But I'm not talking about Sony here. I'm talking about Microsoft. And Microsoft, unfortunately, has adopted a method which, yes, makes. I'm as a person who has also a PC. I guess on the long run, because right now I still can't enjoy most of them, but eventually I might be able to enjoy them as well. But unfortunately, it gives me less of an excuse to play an Xbox One. And that's kind of a shame, because if some of the, not just these titles, but stuff they've done also in the past, were still legitimate an Xbox exclusive, if theoretically speaking I had the money, I would have got an Xbox One. Technically speaking, they had passed their stupid controversies about the always online. They dropped the Kinect bullshit. Yes, the console still gives a shit ton of problems. Like, I keep forgetting the name of that guy. The guy that basically rage quit on Cuphead on the Xbox brand.
Video games awesome.
Allow me to sum up real quickly for people who are not aware too. Basically, everybody, the Xbox One is also infamous for having really a lot of software problems. Like, for example, they've changed their UI completely. They're still trying to find the perfect UI to have for the console 6 years in. And the streaming mixer doesn't work. The software-wise, the console also, like in terms of the actual software inside the console, it has a lot of problems as well. Go ahead, too.
But I'm pretty much done. Like I said, this was a step up. Like, I want to give one last benefit of the doubt and say that this can potentially, remember, we're still technically at the edge, sorta. Well, technically, like I said, E3 2020 will be the last step before the launch of Miss Scarlet, whatever. But if, and that's a big, if, yeah, triple dots, like Shin Megami Tensei. If this can be considered a potential trampoline of which Microsoft can jump, I can still see the idea on why you're having these titles like this. So a sort of way to close. Yes, it's not a grand finale for the Xbox One, but let's be fair, the entire cycle of the Xbox One has been a roller coaster of disasters after disasters. So I wasn't expecting Microsoft to have like the one big titles to send off and probably concentrated the effort on Scarlet. There is unfortunately the legitimate doubt that this will still not be the case, and Microsoft really is having development issues like that, in which unfortunately, even with all the potential optimism that one can have, either me, Jove, or whatever other person on the face of the planet, actual Xbox fans, even that cannot overcome. Stupidity has a limit, unfortunately. Okay, no, that's more generalizing. More like in a sense of goodwill eventually runs out, unfortunately.
Definitely.
For this presentation alone, so far, like I said, it's for instead of 10, 6 out of 10, I suppose. It could have been better, yes. But compared to the average Microsoft stand, I guess it still could have been worse. Unfortunately, these all leaves all to a huge gambits for the future, so I guess we will see on that.
All right. CFR.
So yeah, that was Inside Xbox, our first ever
Unless we have
Xbox
another one, Microsoft YCU for E3.
Depending on when it is, because sometimes schedules can get in the way. So we'll see how it goes. See ya.
See ya.